Markovic in goal. 3 centre-backs, Tomáš Víček, Stepan Halupek and David Zima. David Moses, Zaferis, Michal Sadilek and Mbodji across the midfield. Lucas Provod, the captain. Yusufa Sanyang, he's worth keeping an eye on this evening. Signed from Osters, the Swedish club, in the summer for a big fee in terms of relation to Czech football. And Tomáš Hori is a 6'6" giant of a centre-forward who Gabriel and Saliba will have to keep an eye on. The game is underway. Declan Rice is on the ball early on. He's trying to muscle his way past a couple of defenders. Down the left, he's tackled, and the ball goes out for an early Arsenal throw. So they're playing from right to left in the first half. Slavia Prague fans were in early tonight, and they have been making one heck of a noise already. Declan Rice is going to leave it for Christian Norgard to take the throw. So here we go, Pat. We are 33 seconds into the game. I think we've got a long throw coming.
And I think Slavia would expect at some point. But yeah, everyone's up there and the big men are going to go and attack this.
Here we go then. Christian Norgard does launch it into the penalty area, edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away. It comes back to Norgard, 30 yards out. He lofts a high ball into the box. That's headed straight up in the air by Sanyang. It drops down on the edge of the box. Oh, that's well hit, just wide of the target. Left-footed attempt, high bouncing ball from the edge of the penalty area. And Arsenal very nearly took the lead with an absolute screamer there. It was headed down. It's Gabriel, who we've often seen score from close range with his head and make it a nuisance of himself from set pieces. That was some strike, Pat.
Absolutely brilliant technique, phenomenal technique. Any striker would love to be able to do that. Had to get his hip over it and did so.
Provod bringing it forward for Slavia Prague into the box, hits it low across the face of goal. Raya had it covered, didn't get a touch, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. That's an encouraging start for Slavia Prague.
It's an encouraging start to the game in terms of pure excitement. Arsenal have had a chance here, and a good shot from that angle there. And then Slavia Prague, they got up the other end. Really very, very positive. You want to see that from the home side. They need a win tonight. If they're going to get through or get to the playoffs, they need a win. So good effort there from Provod.
David Raya clears from the goal kick. Marino, that's a brilliant flick on, finds Trossard on the move down the left. Saka's made a good run in behind the defence. Trossard gets onto his right foot, back onto his left, into the penalty area. Cross comes in from Hincapié, but it's gone behind for the goal kick. So Piero Hincapié, who's on loan from Bayer Leverkusen, making only his second start for Arsenal tonight. Didn't quite get the cross right there. Let's just remind you of that Arsenal team as well, just in case you weren't with us right at the start of the coverage tonight. We are live in Prague for Slavia Prague against Arsenal in the Champions League. It is David Raya in goal as Prague take their goal kick short and drive the ball down the right-hand side, looking for the centre-forward Hori, but it goes straight out of play. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, the back four, Waneri, Norgard and Rice, and then Saka and Trossard either side of Mikel Merino. Zubamendi suspended, Martinelli missing tonight. Trossard trying to prod a pass infield, that's intercepted, cleared to the halfway line. Saliba leaps forward, nods it straight out of play, and that will be a throw-in for Slavia Prague, the Czech champions.
Do you know one of the things that was very noticeable from that long throw in Arsenal had right at the start? They put it in a really good area. I mean, it got right inside the 6-yard line, but Hori was there. He was the man who headed it away, and he is very, very tall. He's a 6'5", 6'6", something like that. So, you know, Arsenal have to find a way of blocking him.
That actually, Pat, is going to be a really good battle in open play, because look here, high lofted ball, Gabriel against Hori, and Hori didn't even look at the ball there, just gave Gabriel a shove in the back, knew he wasn't going to win the header, wanted to let him know he was there. So from set pieces all over the pitch, that is going to be a tussle to watch. 3.5 minutes in, Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 0. Keeping an eye on the video printer as well, because the other game kicking off at 5:45 in the Champions League this evening is quite an important one actually for Napoli and Frankfurt, because both coming into it off the back of heavy defeats in the last round of fixtures. There's Trossard looking for Marino. Slavia Prague scramble it away. Hori and Gabriel this time go shoulder to shoulder. Hori, the ball bounces for him, fires it down the line to Provod. Back it comes to Moses, looking to release Sanyang down the right. Saliba's got it covered, steps in, under pressure now, down by the dead ball line, turns. First clearance is blocked by Sanyang, and then Saliba scoops it away, headed up in the air by Sadilek. Second header goes high down the right-hand touchline. A little bit scrappy this at the moment. Hori gets onto it on the right. Low cross into the near post area. Cleared by Norgard. Good early pressure here from Slavia Prague. And it's David Moses with the ball at his feet, down by the corner flag, back heels it. Provod gets another cross in. Sadilek goes down, shot comes in on the Arsenal goal. Horry on the turn and Raya saved with his left hand. The offside flag was up. Pat Nevin.
Really impressive from the home side there. We were talking before that with Chaffers before the game. You know, they have the Arsenal players on their FIFA when they play FIFA. But
Yes.
they're not spooked, are they?
No.
They've not come out here and thought, oh my goodness, it's Arsenal. Absolutely none of that. I mean, you can hear it, I'm sure, in the background, the noise. This place is absolutely jam-packed. The fans believe they can do it. And looking at the players, the way they've started, they're very, very open. You know, this isn't a team that's trying to play in the break against Arsenal. This is a team that want to take them on face-to-face, right in their faces the entire time.
Unbeaten in 6 games in all competitions, 2 wins, 4 draws, 5 clean sheets in a row for Slavia Prague. 0-0 against Arsenal, 5.5 minutes in, early finish to drive tonight, and of course we've got Liverpool against Real Madrid for you on 5 Live from Anfield. But Slavia Prague come again, the ball hits Moses on the heels. Arsenal clear up towards the halfway line. It's nudged out of play there by Vyšek for Slavia Prague. That'll be a throw-in for Arsenal on the left inside their own half.
It's an interesting way they're playing just now, because Sanyang, we were talking about him before, and you said right at the start, keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
And I think you're absolutely spot on. He's playing in the left of a 3 up front, but he's everywhere, absolutely everywhere.
Onto the ball right now, got it from Horry, was on the slide and played the pass. Timber's not messing around, knocked Sanyang off the ball. Gabriel's first time clearance was hurried. Zima is onto that, the left-sided centre-back for Slavia Prague. Here's Sanyang again, just plays it back to Mbodji, and Mbodji's pass down the line. Provod tried to take it on the turn. Timber was able to nip in and knock it out for a throw into Slavia Prague, but the home team have made a good start to the game. They've played 15 games against English teams in UEFA competition. They've won 2, drawn 4 and lost 9. But again, given resources between the two nations, two clubs, that's kind of the record. You wouldn't expect them to have a dominant record against English teams
Absolutely
in
not.
Europe. Right, I think we've got a long throw coming for Slavia Prague here, so Arsenal might get a taste of their own medicine. In it comes to the corner of the 6-yard box. It didn't go that far, actually. Saka heads it away. Then it's launched high in the air by Marino. Nodded forward, laid off by Horry, and Bodji's going to shoot from range, 5 yards wide of the target. David Raya watches it go behind, hit the hoardings, bounce back into the Arsenal penalty area. It'll be an Arsenal goal kick, 0-0.
And they're not getting any time at all in the ball of the Arsenal back line. I mean, they like some games, or some parts of the game where they could hold it, slow it down, pass it out. They're just not getting that. Horry's right onto them, and the 2 other attacking players, they're trying to push them down as well. So because of that, Arsenal have gone long.
Longer ball downfield. Marino looked to get the flick and find Trossard again. It didn't quite work. Cleared by Slavia Prague and out for a throw into Arsenal in the left-back position. 7.5 minutes played. The manager of Slavia Prague is easily recognisable. Beneath us, down on the touchline, Jindřich Terpisovsky. He's in a bright white baseball cap, black hoodie, black trousers, black trainers. Bit of the Tony Pulis about the baseball cap there as it's played forward to the big centre forward, Horry. Neat touch though, turn as well. Arsenal stand off him, rolls a pass to the Nigerian David Moses. That is intercepted on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. They're trying to play out from a tight spot here. Trossard's on the turn, Moses has fouled him. Assistant referee sticks his flag up, Moses complains. Arsenal do get the free kick.
Again, really good energy. Arsenal are struggling to get out of their half at the moment, because they can't build it up, so they've played it long. But the problem is play it long. The 2 big centre-backs, or 3 of them actually, Chalapik, Zima and Vyšek as well, and they're giving absolutely nothing to Marino so far. So quite a difficult position at the moment, Arsenal, but it's early days, and of course you're going to get that liveliness right at the start from the home side.
Not conceded in the last 7 games, Arsenal, against Olympiacos, West Ham, Fulham, Atletico Madrid, Crystal Palace, Brighton and Burnley. So that's the defence that Slavia Prague are trying to pierce tonight. The ball is cleared away by the Slavia Prague goalkeeper Jakub Markovic. You might hear a little bit of noise bleeding into the commentary from either side of us. It's quite an interesting commentary position this evening, Pat. We're in a sort of long corridor high up at the top of one of the stands that runs alongside the touchline. There were shutters. It was quite exciting actually. We arrived and the shutters were down. You couldn't even see the pitch, and everyone gets their own little button to push and then the shutters go up and give you a view, but it's a bit of a thoroughfare as well. There's quite a lot of people about.
Yes, there is. Oddly, this is a kind of throwback to the old Soviet bloc type of commentary positions you used to get. You never get positions like this.
No.
In the kind of Western European places, so it's a kind of throwback to that. But as I haven't said that, it's still a lovely atmosphere, and it's a brilliant stadium.
Yeah, game started well. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 0. Rice has lost it for Arsenal, and immediately Slavia Prague attacking down the right-hand side. Sanyang's first touch, not great, and it gave Hincapié a chance to get back at him. He's cleared on the spin. He didn't want that to go for a corner, but it has gone out for a throw into Slavia Prague.
Once again, you're talking about that player, Sanyang. Where's he playing? He's supposed to be a left winger. he's everywhere. He's playing the right wing there. And I like that. Look, in very simple terms, they've got Hori up front. He's a big, tall, strong player. Good technically as well and scores. But everyone else just plays around him like a maple.
Throw in then for Slavia Prague from the right. This is Tomas Vyšek. Where's number 27, the right-sided centre-back? They play a back three to Slavia Prague. Low skiddy throw into the box. Hincapié on the bounce. Clears with his left foot. Saliba it was, in fact. He got his left foot on the ball, and it's gone out for another throw-in. And then I wonder whether that's the set-piece coach now who's out on the side of the pitch there, because I just saw him sort of intimate, let's go for the longer one here. So let's see what Vyšek decides to do. Yes, he is going for the longer one. Saliba is there. He's gone down on the ground, and then it's a completely miscued shot from Zafiris, the Greek. Spins off his left boot, stays in place. Sanyang uses Mbodji down the left-hand side, and Mbodji's cross blocked by Timber, and it goes out for a throw-in, actually to Arsenal, because the last touch came off Mbodji. And the couple of goals he scored, Pat, against Bodo Glimt, came from sort of bombing runs down the left-hand side and appearing at the far post and sticking home crosses from the other side.
And that's going to be important for, because they're playing what is a 3-4-3. It's a question over Saka. Saka's really hardly got into the game so far, but is he going to follow that player? It's not really a fullback, but he's going to have to follow and make sure that he doesn't get space in the back post if there is any crosses coming in from this right-hand side from Slavia.
A clash of heads as two players went for a challenge in the Arsenal half there. Halupek has come off worse, the middle of the three centre-backs. He's okay though, he's up on his feet and rubbing his head. Mikel Merino was the one who jumped with him. Bukayo Saka scored actually in this stadium as a 19-year-old when Arsenal were last here playing in the second leg of the Europa League quarter-finals back in 2021. It was actually 1-1 at the Emirates in the first leg. Arsenal won the second leg 4-0 and then went on to lose to Villarreal in the semi-final. Slavia Prague have never been to a major European final. The best they've ever done was semi-finals of the UEFA Cup back in 1996. Wouldn't expect them to get to the Champions League final this season, but you never know. Here's Declan Rice, straight pass, Merino turns, followed by Halupek. He's inside the Arsenal half. His pass forward is deflected straight up in the air. Provod chases it, but Declan Rice has got it. Rice just stretches his legs a little to move away from Provod, finds Timber, back to Rice, had to stretch to control that with his left foot. Side foots a ball out to the right-hand side, and Arsenal decide to come back to the goalkeeper, David Raya.
Keep on going on at the energy levels that you're getting from Slavia Prague. The question always comes though, can you do that for 90 minutes? And remember the likes of Arsenal, the British teams, particularly the English teams, they can do that. I mean, they're so used to the pace of the game in the Premier League. You just often wonder if it's the case. And I remember going to watch Sparta, and they were definitely incapable of doing it for the last 20 minutes. So maybe it'll be that Arsenal have to survive a bit of an onslaught. Slavia
Prague breaking. Zafiris curling past, spins on the turf in front of Sanyang. Timber is breathing right down his neck there, then backs off him because I think he felt there was a free kick about to be given. Sadilek is a little figure who plays in midfield, gets the ball, passes it to his left. Timber intercepts brilliantly for Arsenal, and suddenly the Premier League leaders are on the move. Waneri, that was wonderful skill to take him past the first defender. Saka is tackled, but the move keeps going because the ball comes back to Rice on the halfway line here. Rice exchanges passes with Hincapié, strokes it across to Saliba. Gabriel is calling for it behind them. He eventually gets it via the right foot of Christian Norgard. And now Gabriel comes creeping forward across the halfway line, looks for Norgard. Norgard's fouled. Free kick for Arsenal right in the middle of the Slavia Prague half. 14 minutes in, Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 0.
That was brilliant from Gabriel. It's the first time in quite some time that Arsenal have had controlled possession in the midfield area. So, you know, they get it there, and they're going to try and go forward too quickly, and Gabriel said, no, slow down, give it to me. Let's get this game under some sort of control that we feel comfortable with. And in the end, they get a free kick in a good place because of it.
3 games, 3 wins for Arsenal in the Champions League phase so far. 8 goals scored, none conceded, but 0-0 so far tonight. Hope the atmosphere is coming through loud and clear wherever you're listening this evening. Here's Saka, wide on the right-hand side. He's forced backwards, but Rice is there in space. Middle of the Slavia Prague half, Hincapié plays it to his left to Trossard, feeds it in field to Rice. Couple of touches from Rice, he's up to the edge of the penalty area. Low pass to Hincapié, side foots it back to Trossard again. Quick change of direction from the Belgian, scoop pass into the penalty area, headed away by Halupek. Sanyang on the turn, clears on the half volley. Trossard miscues, he's chased by Moses. Moses gets a foot on the ball here, and Trossard's just got to hold him off and hope it goes out for an Arsenal throw. It does in the end, but they've lost ground.
Well done there to Trossard, because he was the last man there. On 3 occasions in a row there, the ball's come back to him. Not in comfortable possession when it's came to him, and if he loses it there, Arsenal are in big trouble. But well, he has got a bit of pace, so he can always get back, even though he's not noted for his defence.
Gabriel on the ball again for Arsenal inside his own half. Leandro Trossard, who I guess partly because of injuries at the moment is very much a regular starter in the Arsenal team. He started the last 6 Premier League games, and he so often pops up with crucial goals as well. Saka's tackled on the right, goes out for a throw into Arsenal just short of the halfway line. Their next game, of course, in the Premier League is away to Sunderland on Saturday. Arsenal top, Sunderland in 4th, who've made a great start to the season. We've got commentary of it on 5 Live at 5:30 on Saturday, and that promises to be a really good game, because I saw Sunderland win at Chelsea, Pat, and I was very impressed with them.
Yeah, right at the start of the season, I watched their first game against West Ham, and thinking, well, wait a minute, you're a bit excited, can you keep that up? Answer, yes.
Raya's clearance up towards Marino. They've gone for that tactic quite a lot. This time Marino chests it down, but the ball gets away from him, and Slavia Prague come back to their goalkeeper, Jakub Markovic, all in bright yellow away to our left, who's had absolutely nothing to do in the game so far. It looks like they're attempting to raise a big flag behind his goal to the left-hand side, but if they do that, those fans behind it not going to be able to see anything. Provod's down. He's won a free kick for Slavia Prague, and Mikel Arteta throws his hands up in the air in pure frustration. But actually he's making a point here, I think, to Waneri in midfield about Arsenal when they're in possession of the ball.
Just up for a moment there, it was quite interesting. Arsenal lost possession and they go into the back line of Slavia. Marino went really tight, and you thought, right, let's go and press them a little bit, let's go and ask them a question. No one came up behind them. So Slavia are going to press down as much as they can and try and get the ball back high up the field. Well, Arsenal are not up for that at the moment yet.
Gabriel's taken a knock at some point, because he's sitting down at the moment with a couple of the medical staff here. It was him that made the challenge that conceded the free kick. Came through the back of the Slavia Prague player. Wonder where the knock came. Was it an arm to the throat? He's just sat down, and they're just sort of holding him gently by the jaw and looking at his face and into his eyes.
It wasn't clear at all where he'd been hit. We've seen a couple of slow motion replays on our monitors here, so whatever the case, amazingly for once the cameras haven't caught it.
No. Tomasz Hori up front, Pat. I mean, he is, cliche alert here, he is your old-fashioned centre forward, isn't he?
He is, and he wants the battle, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He really wants it. And he's he's tall, is it 6'5", 6'6", whatever it is, but he's not gangly.
Although we were discussing last night, weren't we, about the inaccuracy of footballers' heights.
Yeah. That's a secret that's usually kept well.
Yes.
The amount that don't actually tell their true heights.
Yeah. Right, Gabriel's still down, delay in play. It is still Napoli 0, Frankfurt 0. So, in their last 2 Champions League games, those two, Napoli lost 6-2 at PSV Eindhoven, and Frankfurt lost 5-1, of course, at home to Liverpool. The game before that, Frankfurt lost 5-1 against Atletico Madrid. And Napoli also lost their first game in the Champions League this season. It's a cut under the eye here for Gabriel that's being treated at the moment. Just a little nick. Like he's like a heavyweight boxer having the treatment there, isn't he? They're just tidying it up and then putting the Vaseline on it to sort of staunch the bleeding so he can keep playing.
Well, you just know with Gabriel, when he came into this game and he looked who he was up against, he knew he was going to get a few lumps and bumps. and he won't complain about it because he's given a few out himself.
Yeah. Free kick taken by Slavia Prague because it was a foul by Gabriel initially. Gabriel's waiting to get back on the pitch. Here's Waneri. Waneri to Marino. Just over the halfway line, finds Saka. Timber goes sprinting past Saka on the right. Saka uses him as a decoy. Lines up a long-range shot. Low curler, heading for the far corner. Comfortably dealt with there by the goalkeeper, Markovic. Palms it away, and it actually goes out for a throw-in by the corner flag on the left for Arsenal.
Again, it's probably that little break and play was pretty good for Arsenal. I mean, we was having a real quite a tough time at the start of the game without being hammered. They were having a tough time. By the way, what they've done behind the stand is absolutely fantastic.
Tifo display behind the stand has gone up in all sorts of different colours: oranges, reds, yellows, whites, blacks. The number is 133. I'm not sure of the meaning of that. Long throw into the Slavia Prague penalty area. Volleyed away on the right foot. High steepling ball, bounces. Waneri doesn't get anything on it. Rice is there. Side foots a pass to his left. And Norgard, 45 yards from goal, wide on the left to Marino. Marino with the outside of his right foot, looking for the run into the box from Waneri. And Waneri's run into Sadilek there and fouled him. And that is going to be a free kick for Slavia Prague. That looks fantastic.
It is. I mean, you don't see that many tifos coming up in the middle of a game.
No.
You know, right? I mean, beforehand, maybe, see that plenty. Half time, see that plenty. But we all agreed right on 20 minutes up to come up, and don't know what it means, but it looks good.
No, I'm always slightly concerned, Pat. I mean, I presume if it's gone up, it's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's not offensive. I'm always slightly concerned when we describe them and read them out that you're not...
well, yeah, exactly. They're not always okay.
They're not always okay, are they? So hopefully that one is. Club was formed in 1892. Look at this, Sherlock producer Chris Sykes, 133 years ago. The number is 133.
Well done.
There we go. There we go. Very good, if that is indeed correct. Free kick for Arsenal. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Champions League night, Tuesday night, live from the Czech capital. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 0. Full commentary on the way on 5 Live of Liverpool, Real Madrid at Anfield. Spurs Copenhagen is on Sports Extra, and Ian Dennis will keep you across all the goals as they go in. There's 8 games in the Championship tonight as well. That's a good ball from deep from Hincapié. Trossard is onto that. First touch into the penalty area, took him wide. Cross is blocked, and it goes behind for the corner to Arsenal. And Trossard's slightly annoyed with himself, I think, for that first touch, Pat.
Yeah, but it was coming over his shoulder, so I understand why it wasn't absolutely perfect. But you look at Arsenal, what you're used to watching Arsenal play, or how you're used to seeing them play. They hold the ball, they control games, they get onto that 18-yard box and play around it. None of that tonight. Absolutely no chance so far of that. However, on this occasion, they got beyond the defence. That's made a difference. And of course, they've got another set piece.
Right, so let's try and describe what's going on here. Very, very deep in the penalty area, way beyond the far post. I can see Marino, Rice, Timber. Where's Gabriel? Where is Gabriel? Just looking for the number 6. He's in the 6-yard box at the far post at the moment. Trossard is just behind him. In fact, Rice is going to take the corner. Rice with his right foot, edge of the 6-yard box and central, headed up in the air, bounces on the edge of the penalty area. Sanyang does really well, strong and quick, holds off Waneri. Waneri gets booked for the challenge. Free kick for Slavia Prague, and the home fans love it.
I'm slightly surprised that was yellow card, although in the Waneri, he's not making any great complaint about it. We're having a second look at it here. He's tried to go for it. To be honest, he takes 3 steps before he falls over. But, you know, he's not anywhere near the ball, Waneri, so there is no chance that the referee's going to think he's made a mistake there. So, yellow card, has to be careful.
He is a handful. Yusufa Sanyang, 20 years old, Gambian international, signed from Swedish club Osters in the summer, and this tonight only his 6th appearance for Slavia Prague and his first start in the Champions League. He looks like a player. Hori on the turn, couldn't find Moses with the pass, and it's bobbled out of play for a throw into Arsenal. He's
one of those players in that sub-position, that wide area, but he's got so much boundless energy. He's got plenty of pace as well, and he's the kind of player you think, yeah, but see when you get in the last third, slow down. Just slow down a little bit. You need to pick out the right pass. And he's just so excitable at the moment that's the weakness of his game so far.
Declan Rice charging forward, side foots a pass to Saka. Saka and Mbodji shoulder to shoulder in the penalty area. Saka shoots hard at the keeper, blocked at the near post, knocked behind by Mbodji for the corner. I mean, the angle was tight there. Saka was really hoping for a mistake from the goalkeeper, but he did get the shot on target.
Brilliant though from Saka. I mean, he's been pushed, he's been shoved. I mean, the physicality he's having to put up with there, but he still keeps his balance, but also his strength as well, and managed to get the shot really well on target and win his team yet another corner.
25 minutes gone in the first half. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 0. Declan Rice sweeps some of the dark brown hair from his brow, holds his left arm in the air, takes the corner. This one's low into the near post. Trossard got a touch, hit the side netting. I think Markovic, the keeper, might have got something on that. I don't know if it was going in. It's gone behind for another corner.
Well, it's noticeable there that Arsenal are trying to figure out where Jorge is. He actually he started to stay a little bit further back, and as soon as he did that, Arsenal play it to the front post. They know what they're doing, these Arsenal players, at these set pieces.
So we're in front of the hardcore Slavia Prague fans. This Arsenal corner away to our left. This one's deeper from Rice, spinning and curling towards the far post, headed away. Saka was lining up a volley. It was cleared before he could swing his boot at the ball. Marino controls, plays back to Rice just outside the area. Curling ball goes straight into the box, and it's a sort of miscued header from Halopeg. It comes off his head and goes sideways and goes behind for another corner to Arsenal. And I guess his frustration there is you just don't want to give him too many chances.
Absolutely. The problem is if you head it out for a throw, and it's almost as bad against Arsenal. But you're beginning to get a wee bit of control. This last 3 or 4 minutes, and I would say it is that 3, 4, 5 minutes, you're beginning to see the real Arsenal getting a little bit more dominance and certainly getting these set pieces and put them into dangerous areas.
Declan Rice, here we go again. Right-footed ball, lower trajectory, hooked over the bar. Tight angle from Trossard and behind for the goal kick. Now then, Arsenal, Timber and Gabriel both have their arms up in the air, appealing to the referee for something they feel went on inside the penalty area there. Not sure what for. Are they just appealing for another corner, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think it didn't look like it from this position there, but to be fair, actually, we have to be honest about it. There's been a couple of corners that haven't been brilliant from the left-hand side there, and it's just not often you say that, particularly when Declan Rice is taking them, but not the best there.
Trossard takes a whack in the back, wins a free kick for Arsenal just inside the Slavia Prague half, and the referee, who I've not mentioned by name yet, is just going to halt play and have a word with Zafiris, the Slavia Prague midfielder. He is an Azerbaijani referee, 4th season in the Champions League. Aliyar Aghayev in charge of the game tonight. We are back underway. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 0, Liverpool Real Madrid to come on 5 Live tonight, which is absolutely mouth-watering. And here's Waneri on the ball for Arsenal, speeding forward. Saka in space inside the penalty area on the right, up against Mbodji, hits the shot low, covered by Markovic at the near post, and behind for yet another Arsenal corner. Right,
definitely beginning to see Arsenal now. Little gaps appearing. Now there's 3 good passes in that move there, but the initial pass by Gabriel was brilliant, absolutely fantastic. He's got it in that central defensive area, but he just waits till a little gap opens up and he zips it in there, and suddenly all the space opens up, and that's what Arsenal have been waiting for. Just saying it at the start, the opposition are going to play at a high tempo right at the start of this game, but in time gaps will open up. Arsenal are just waiting for that, and they're beginning to see it now.
Pat Nevin with us in Prague in the Fortuna Arena. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal corner will be taken by Saka from the right. Timber's the only player beyond the far post. Referee spotted some argy-bargy inside the 6-yard box. Trossard is now joining Timber at the far post. Marino is lurking there as well. Gabriel, the main man, stands on the penalty spot and is barking orders at everyone. Rice is waiting on the edge of the box, and so is Waneri. Saka jogs on the spot, delivers the corner. Oh, near post header wide of the target. Behind for corner. Yes, another corner for Arsenal. Gabriel, in fact, who made the dart to the near post, and the defender went with him.
Yeah, he did. That was actually a really great run again, and the delivery on this occasion was fantastic, and they're absolutely spot on. There's a corner kick. He didn't get anything on it, Gabriel, but got in a good position.
Yeah, Provod ran with him. Gabriel missed the header. It hit Provod on the back and went behind for another corner to Arsenal. And again, this one will come in from the right. Whistles and jeers from the Slavia Prague fans. Does look like a chessboard down there, the way the Arsenal pieces are set all around the board in the blue shirts, and then Slavia Prague in the red and white, just trying to cover any potential angle of attack. 3 players again beyond the far post. Gabriel waits on the penalty spot. What's the referee waiting for here? Potential penalty check has come up on the screen, Pat.
Wow.
From the last corner when Gabriel went for the near post header.
Do you know, I mean, I'm sure there was a deflection off Provod, but it was off his back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was off his back. So it can't be that. It must be someone pulling or pushing. It could only be that.
And this is the thing with the replays that we get in the Champions League. We now only get a picture that we can actually see with our eyes. The referee's being sent to the screen, which suggests that Arsenal are going to get a penalty here, but we don't get to see the replay until the referee gets to see the replay right now. So I'm hoping we're going to see the images that he is about to see. The referee has come over to the side of the pitch and he is looking at the monitor. There is a whole cluster of bodies in there. It's Provod's left hand up by his head.
But he's headed it onto his own hand, is he not?
Yes. Oh, hang on. He's given it. Well, that's amazing. Because I'm just trying to think, Pat, the game I was at the weekend, Manchester City-Bournemouth, where there was a potential penalty appeal, where a ball flicked up off a leg, hit a hand and it wasn't given.
Provod's saying exactly that.
Yeah.
He's saying precisely that. And I mean, we've only seen one angle of it, only one angle. But I immediately thought, oh, it's hit his head, then his hand, he's okay. That's mildly surprising, but Arsenal will take it.
Well, Arsenal will certainly take it. Bukayo Saka literally will take it. I think the penalty, he's got the ball in his hands. Gyökeres often is the other candidate for penalties, but he's out at the moment, not sure when he's going to return. So Bukayo Saka, who scored in this stadium as a 19-year-old 4 years ago, has a chance to put Arsenal in front in the Champions League. But I mean, you could lip read Provod there. In English, he was saying to the referee, it's hit my head and then my hand, and you saw that, Pat.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw. But I have to underline, only seen one angle. However, that's history. This isn't.
This is the present. This is Bukayo Saka, giant Slavia Prague flag waving, trying to put him off amongst the fans behind the goal. The whistle blows. Saka scores. Goalkeeper went the right way, but the shot was true. It finds the bottom corner, and Arsenal lead in Prague. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 1.
First of all, absolutely magnificent penalty there by Bukayo Saka. Keeper went the right way, but he's got real power on it. Kept it low, hits the side netting. Tough for any goalkeeper to get to that. So well done under a lot of pressure. There's always pressure. There was a lot of pressure there, but he got it in. 1-0, and that's a great position. However, we're going to read the description of what happened.
So we've got a picture of what came up on the big screen. The VAR decision, penalty handball offence, Slavia Prague's player number 17 touched the ball with his left hand, which was in an unnatural position above the shoulder and making his body bigger.
Yeah, we know that. But did he head it onto it?
Yeah, I mean, I think two things there, Pat. I think one, it's hit his head and then his hand. But two, when you're jumping to head, it's not miles. His hand's not miles above his head. It's sort of up. I think that's really unlucky.
But I mean, from a moral point of view, and I would sit square with Arsenal fans here. If it's hit his hand and stopped it going in the goal,
yes,
I want a penalty.
Yes,
I absolutely want a penalty. Never mind what the rules say. I want a penalty. And so I wouldn't be complaining about that, and I would be too upset about that, because, you know, if it was going in and his hand stopped it going in.
Do you think that was going in off his head?
Yeah,
right, okay. Well, so I can understand that point of view. Gabriel lets this long ball drop over his shoulder. It bounces into the Arsenal penalty area, and it's 1-0 to the Arsenal. So Slavia Prague have now definitely got to find a way through this Arsenal defence, and Saka's in the mood. 5th goal of the season, 2nd from the penalty spot for him. Little back heel into the penalty area is meant for Saka. Couldn't get on the end of that. Markovic clears with his right foot, and it goes out for a throw. And
of course, it's worth underlining again, where did it come from? A corner kick. Once again for Arsenal, getting into a dangerous area. To be fair, they had a whole bunch of corner kicks in a row there, put into sort of sometimes dangerous positions, sometimes less so. That was really well delivered.
Arsenal win this evening will take them to 12 points. It will put them top of this Champions League phase table. The other teams with 3 wins out of 3 so far: PSG, Bayern Munich, Inter and Real Madrid. It's PSG Bayern tonight, by the way. We'll keep an eye on that during our commentary of Liverpool Real Madrid on 5 Live in Spurs Copenhagen on Sports Extra. The ball is headed away and kept in play by Sanyang inside his own half. Pacey pass from him to Zima, back to the goalkeeper Markovic, who went the right way for the penalty but couldn't keep it out. Played forward up towards Provod, who was penalised for the handball. He's now fouled just short of the halfway line. Slavia Prague get the free kick. Provod's up on his feet, wants to take it quickly.
Just thought the referee was going to get a bit excitable until his yellow card out there, which is the last thing Arsenal needed.
And Bodji, great left-footed control on the volley, hits the cross low into Timber, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Slavia Prague.
You probably spotted it. I thought it was it Declan Rice that made that tackle there? And it's one of those ones
on the yellow.
Exactly.
On the yellow,
it's
yeah.
one of those ones where you think you'd love to get a little bit of a cushion if you're Arsenal tonight, because if you do, the first person should be taken off is Declan Rice.
Yeah, when I say on the yellow, I mean not in this game. 2 yellow cards in the competition so far. If he picks up a third this evening, he would miss the Bayern game at home Wednesday the 26th of November. Long throw coming into the Arsenal penalty area. Body's down, Hori's down, wants a penalty, and the referee's given it the other way. He's given a free kick to Arsenal, and now the referee, who I'm guessing is under 6 foot tall, is confronting the 6 foot 6 inch terrifying figure of Tomáš Hori and explaining why he gave the free kick to Arsenal. You listen to me, young man.
To be fair, both of them were at it, you know, and if I look at it again a second time, Arsenal might have got a wee bit lucky there.
Yeah, they've both got a hold of each other, Saliba and Hori. Hori goes down quite easily, but Saliba's got both arms around him.
Yeah, but he's being dragged down.
Yeah.
I would suggest that it's not a good idea for Saliba to do that again, because if a referee's given one penalty kick already,
yeah,
you know, you've seen them ones. You've seen those given there.
10 minutes left in the first half in Prague. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal looking to make it 4 wins out of 4, and if they can do that without conceding tonight, as David Raya clears with his right foot looking for Saka, it's headed away. Timber closes in, Sanyang is there first, Marino tackles him, Timber still in support, and then Marino, that's not a good challenge on Sanyang, slid in from quite a long way away, pretty sure he didn't get the ball, and the referee has produced the yellow card for Mikel Marino.
It's a long way away from us. I didn't think he connected, however, he went off his feet. And if you go off your feet and don't get a clean ball, there's another angle here, and I'll tell you if I'm wrong. There's very little,
you're right.
There's very little contact there. Yeah. However, he's made the most of it, and because he's gone off his feet and he's not got the ball,
yeah,
the referee, they always do it.
No, you've read that perfectly, Pat. He got up immediately, Marino, and wagged his finger, making that point. I've not made any contact. But you're right, he lunged from a distance, and the referee was quite a way away, and he's decided to give the yellow card. So Arsenal lead 1-0. Slavia Prague take their free kick from deep, up towards Hori, challenging with Saliba again. This must be offside. Surely Sanyang's on the ball on the left, and he's miscued the cross. Yeah, offside flag goes up. Now, what I was going to say, Pat, was if Arsenal win without conceding tonight, in the history of the European Cup, so not just the Champions League, all the way back to when the European Cup started, there is only one English team ever that have won their first 4 games without conceding. That was Leeds United back in 1969-1970 season of the European Cup.
What a good run that they had, all the way to the semi-final when they were beaten at Hampden Park, and I know that because I was there.
You were there, Pat. Beaten by Celtic, weren't they? That's right, and then Celtic went on to lose to Feyenoord in the final, in extra time, I think you told me.
Yeah, that game at Hampden Park had, I think it was officially 149,000.
Wow.
Arsenal 139, but there was more.
Yeah, building play down the right. Timber tries to nick in behind the defence, gets a cross in. That's going to be another corner for Arsenal. Going to need to get on the old BBC Sport website and check the old corner count here, because they really are racking up, and Arsenal have taken the lead from a penalty, which came initially, as Pat was saying, from an Arsenal corner. Yeah,
and it's, I mean, they want their positions to get in there so that if they don't get the cross in, they'll get the corner kick, and it's, I mean, it's brilliant the way Arsenal do it. And tonight, from 20 minutes on, they have just started to control it. They weren't controlling it before then. The question was, could Slavia keep at that pace? Could they keep it in Arsenal's faces? The answer so far, no.
Okay, I don't know when this was last updated. It says 5 at the moment. It feels more than 5.
It's more than
5. Lots. I'm going to go for lots. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 1. Saka's penalty. Saka about to take the corner, and you know Gabriel's going to make that run to the near post. I'm going to watch Gabriel here. One-on-one in the box, makes the run to the near post, climbs, keeper beats him to it, comes down, Waneri's layoff, Trossard hits the shot, that's blocked, ball rolls out to Saka. Saka works in onto his left foot, drives it low, not much power. Blocked again, Trossard's there on the right, sliding challenge on him by Sanyang. And Arsenal add to their corner count, their unspecific corner count in this first half.
It's quite desperate now, isn't it, for Slavia? And it's tough, because you keep the concentration up for the first corner, and maybe the second, or the third. But time and time again, they're coming in. These Arsenal players are attacking. The quality of the ball's got better again from the corner kicks. It says 7 corners up at the corner.
That will be right, yeah, on the big screen. So they were 1 out with 5 there. 7, this will be 8, I think. Saka from the left, low, different this time, back to Rice, controls it. Short pass back to Saka on the right, dummies across with the left foot, low ball into Waneri tricking onto his left foot. Another shot is blocked. Pressure is building here from Arsenal as they go looking for the second goal just before half-time. 5 Live in BBC Sounds live in Prague. Liverpool, Real Madrid to come on 5 Live tonight. Waneri's cross beyond everyone and balloons behind for the goal kick. So Liverpool, Real Madrid tonight. Tomorrow, 2 more Champions League commentaries on 5 Live. Qarabag against Chelsea at 5:45, and then Manchester City at home against Dortmund at 8.
Bit of a jaunt for Chelsea over to Qarabag.
Yes, and they've won 2 of their first 3 games, Pat, in the competition, Qarabag, so that's no pushover, that one. Waneri, he's a skillful player, Waneri. Just throws his defender off just by leaning one way, taking the ball the other, gives it to Trossard on the left. That looks like a good cross into the near post, and Marino's just beaten to the header. If Marino had made contact there, I think that was in the back of the net. Here's Trossard, 2 red and white shirted defenders in front of him, out to Hincapié on the left. Piero Hincapié, the 23-year-old Ecuadorian. Another very useful signing made by Arsenal this summer. 8, I think we count 8 regular first-team players missing tonight, and still that bench looks pretty strong. Few youngsters on there. Saka too strong, too quick, into the penalty area. Just off balance there, falls, and Sanyang is able to clear.
And he stayed down. Just the way he went down there, he fell quite awkwardly, Saka.
Yeah.
The last thing he actually needs is another injury to an important player.
He's fallen on his hip.
I don't actually think he's looking for a penalty kick. I don't think, because sometimes players go down, they sit there as if to say, go and have a look at this, referee. I'm not sure that's the case. I think it was just an awkward way that he fell.
Yeah, and Bodji, shoulder to shoulder, just leans into him. He's knocked off balance. He just falls straight on his left hip, doesn't he? Heavily onto his left hip.
I think probably get a little bit of a fright because he's hit his shoulder as he went down, because he went to that angle. The good news for Arsenal fans listening in, that first 20 minutes wasn't easy, and it was really concerning because they weren't getting up the pitch, weren't able to control, they weren't able to play the way Arsenal want to play. Relax, chaps, they are. They absolutely are.
3 minutes left in the first half. David Raya's taken his time. Provod closes in. Raya clears with his right foot. Saka's down again, and Bodji was next to him. Saka back on his feet. The ball's knocked out for an Arsenal throw. Champions League goals from the games tonight. The highlights tonight available from 10 o'clock on the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website. Cross comes in from the left. Gabriel is there. Side foots it away. David Raya might have given him a shout. The two have a high five, but it has gone behind for a Slavia Prague corner.
Slavia needed that. They really needed that. They've been under the cosh for a long time. They needed some sort of break, and that was pretty good. No surprise it comes down the left-hand side. They are much stronger down that left-hand side. Good ball in the middle. Nobody there to attack it. They were waiting for Hori. He was nowhere near it.
Right, let's see what he can do, though, the big centre-forward from this attacking set-piece. He's standing edge of the penalty area, and Arsenal haven't got anyone directly next to him at the moment. Timber's got an eye on him. 2 Slavia Prague players in conversation have decided to do something slightly different with the corner. Zafiris is sent away by Sadilek. Michal Sadilek, who's going to take this with his left foot from the left. It's going to be an away swinger, and Raya standing with plenty of space around him inside the 6-yard box. Now they start to make their runs. Ball comes in with pace. Marino's header away. Provod's missed it. Moses is behind him for Slavia. Comes to Zafiris, stocky little midfielder. Passes to his right to Provod, and Trossard closes the cross down. It hits his left leg and goes out for a throw into Slavia.
It's a bit of a shame that Zafiris hasn't really got as involved in the game as the Slavia players would like, because he's a really good technical player, a real 10.
Little layoff here from Sadilek, and there's Zafiris on the right foot. Yeah, very difficult skill to execute. Balloons the shot over the crossbar, but it bounced high on him, and he tried to hit that sidewinder volley, got right underneath it, and the Arsenal goal is safe once more. Slavia Prague trailing Arsenal 1-0.
Yeah, got himself in a good position there. That was a very well worked throw-in. I mean, throw-ins are such a big part of the game again at the moment, and it's not just long throw-ins. It's technically working them so that you can get yourself in a good position. That actually was a very, very good technical throw-in that they did there. It led to a shot towards goal, not on goal.
Clever turn from Waneri there, chested the ball down, turned in one movement, tried to find Saka. Saka is outnumbered. Slavia have it, up towards Hori on the halfway line, wide on the left. Provod, I think there's going to be an offside flag there. Yeah, Arsenal knew it as well. Norgard was following, saw the defensive line and stood off him. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. So yes, highlights of tonight's games from 10 o'clock on the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website and app, and then tomorrow night BBC One if you want to watch it all in one place, all the highlights from the 2 nights of Champions League football. 10:40 BBC One. Gabby Logan presenting, I believe. Ashley Cole, Stephen Warnock, who's at Anfield for us tonight for Liverpool Real Madrid, and Julien Laurent, who was our guest on the FPL podcast from BBC Sport that was recorded live from Prague this morning. Out every Wednesday. If you are a fantasy football manager and you enjoy listening to FPL content, then that is the BBC product for you. BBC Sounds app every Wednesday, the FPL podcast from BBC Sport. Here's Declan Rice, who might be coming into a few fantasy teams actually soon, because not only does he shore it up in midfield, make the tackles and the interceptions, etc., but assists from corners and goals himself as well. And this is good football. Marino gets it from Norgard. They can't find Saka on the right. Sliding challenge, clears the ball out for a throw-in to Arsenal. They lead 1-0. Pat Nevin.
Again, very, very smooth for Arsenal. Going through the phases, going through the midfield. Much more comfortable now. And you look at Slavia, and I'm sure they're already thinking, do we have to change it at half-time? They're a goal down, much less involved in the game just now. And it is one of those ones, if Arsenal can get another goal, be it from a set piece or open play, it's a long old way back for Slavia Prague, because they've not really had a shot and goal for a long time, if indeed at all.
Yeah, exactly. Tough first 15 minutes for Arsenal, but they soaked up the pressure, they dealt with it, they've looked so dangerous as they always do from the set pieces, and possibly got a bit of a hand, maybe, with the penalty decision. They've taken it. Saka dribbling in from the right. Down he goes, looks at the referee, pleading for the free kick, doesn't get it. Sanyang with pace down the left, slides his pass, looking for Zima, beyond Zima, but does stay in place. Saliba's kept that in. Forward here to Norgard, the 31-year-old Dane, signed from Brentford by Arsenal in the summer. Rice across to Gabriel. Trossard running through the middle. Hincapié is wide on the left. It's back to Rice, and Rice's short pass goes to the right to Saliba. Norgard on the turn in the centre circle, back to Gabriel again. We've got about 90 seconds left in the first half here in Prague. Rice, diagonal pass forward to Waneri. Waneri back to Saliba, back again, it comes to Rice, just inside his own half. Timbers in plenty of space on the right if he wants to use him. He does. Timbers closed down, they decide to come back to Raya.
Yeah, being closed down, but in such a way that Arsenal are comfortable with, as if to say, yeah, okay, we'll go back. Do you want to try and close us down all the way up the field, because we'll pick you off? That's what they've been doing for the past 20 minutes. And it's been very, very impressive game management, really mature, as this half has gone on from Arsenal.
Yeah. Won their last 9 games in all competitions, conceding just the 1 goal, leading again tonight, and heading to the top as it stands of this Champions League phase league table. Next game in the Champions League is a cracker at home to Bayern Munich. 5 Live will be there Wednesday, the 26th of November, coming after the international break. Arsenal in total control here. Slavia Prague are ball chasing. Arsenal possibly looking to pick their moment with 30 seconds left in the first half, but if it's not there, it's not on. They won't take it, they'll keep the ball. Rice goes to the right. There's Marino, who's out wide on the right. Back to Rice, he makes a sudden dart forward. Waneri lays it off to Norgard. Through it comes, nearly found Rice. Saka was there as well, edge of the box. Slavia have cleared it away.
How different is this game now from the start? I mean, it's really good to see Arsenal playing like this with comfort. Although a mistake there from
Saliba.
Saliba. It was the right back area. Again, he's dived into a tackle. And it's that man Pravod has gone down again, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
because he's gone off his feet, you're taking a chance there.
Yeah, it was a miscontrol by Saliba as Arsenal were knocking it around inside their own half. It got away from him. He saw Pravod racing in to nick it on the halfway line. And when he gets the ball...
Oh, yeah, he does.
Saliba gets the ball.
Turns out that's a very good tackle. He's gone off his feet, yeah. But if you get the ball and he gets it clean, and by the way, he doesn't get anything of the opposition player, so the referee's not produced a card, so well done him. You must have seen that.
Yeah. So they do get the free kick. I mean, it shouldn't have been a free kick.
It shouldn't
anyway,
have been a free kick, but he's given the free kick.
Yeah,
so
given the free kick.
You deal with that.
Has to stick with that. We're beyond the 4 minutes of added time, end of the first half. Arsenal leading 1-0. The Saka penalty came in the 32nd minute. And they've just got to switch on at the end of the first half here, because the last chance for Slavia Prague comes from the free kick deep into the Arsenal penalty area. Hori chests it down. Hincapie's on the floor. The ball might have hit his hand. Slavia appealing for a penalty, but actually the referee's given a free kick there to Arsenal for a push on Hincapie. Hori now just bumps into Hincapie, absolutely towers over him. He looks like Jaws from the Bond films alongside Roger Moore back in the day. And Hincapie's claiming there was quite a push there, and Hori's just saying, well, you've made a lot of that and you've won a cheap free kick.
Looks a wee bit of bullying, doesn't it, Hori? I mean, just having a watch here. I mean, such an advantage for his height. To be honest, he's not done a lot. Lent a little bit on his shoulder and then basically stampeded over the top of him. But he has to go for the ball. You're right. He is monstrously big, isn't
massive,
he?
Yeah.
And again, underline, he's built physically with that 6'6" frame. There's no kind of willowness to him. He does look like a heavyweight boxer, or I would suggest a wrestler.
He does. He's unshaven. He's grizzled. He's massive. But I'll tell you, he didn't do much wrong there. Jaws definitely did more.
Who's the last person you ever seen going to try to bully Gabriel?
Yeah,
He's doing
exactly.
That.
Half-time whistle blows. Entertainment here in the Czech capital. Arsenal, though, continuing their relentless march towards another win in this competition. Hori and Gabriel are still going at it here as they come off the field at half-time. The key question is, Pat, yes, Arsenal, the better team, took over after about 10-15 minutes or so. Should that have been a penalty, do you think?
Well, I want to see it again. We only had one look at it. And for me, I immediately thought, oh, he's headed on his own hand. Is that really by the law? But I always feel it doesn't matter. If you stop a ball going into the goal with your hand, whether you meant it or not, look, morally that should be a penalty kick. You know, I don't want a yellow card or anything for it, but that should be a penalty kick. So we shall see. I'm looking out for any sort of replay that we can get to give you a kind of really good official look at it. But Arsenal deserved it, let's be fair. They've really deserved it. They've grown into this game. They've got better as it's gone on. They've controlled it. They've got so many set pieces. The big difference, there's many difference between the two teams in the final third. Arsenal are cute, Arsenal intelligent, Arsenal do the right thing. That is not the case with Slavia Prague.
Yeah, the penalty came from a set piece. Gabriel made the run to the near post. Provod penalised for the handball. Saka stuck it away. Mark, we'll wait for the replay, and while we do that, we've got some delights at half-time. We've got these giant baguettes with ham, cheese and gherkins in them and a bag of Percy Pigs to go with them.
Enjoy. Thank you. The other early game in the Champions League has Napoli and Frankfurt goalless at the break. Awful lot of football to come later. Plenty of games in the Championship, one game in League One, games in the National League as well. And in the Champions League later, Liverpool against Real Madrid, Tottenham against Copenhagen. We are at both games this evening. Anfield here on 5 Live, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sports Extra. Also this evening in the Champions League, Atletico Madrid against Union Saint-Gilloise. Bodo Glimt take on Monaco. Juventus are at home to Sporting. Olympiacos take on PSV. Huge game at the Stade de France. It's Paris Saint-Germain Bayern tonight as well. We will go to Anfield for the first time this evening after the latest BBC News on 5 Live with Dan Maudsley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, has sought to prepare voters for her budget later this month by giving her strongest hint yet that taxes could rise. In an unusual pre-budget speech from Downing Street, Ms Reeves refused to rule out a U-turn on Labour's manifesto pledge not to raise income tax, VAT or national insurance, saying everyone must do their bit to contribute. Her colleague, James Murray, is Chief Secretary to the Treasury. He said the Chancellor wanted to be honest with the public.
What I think is really important here is that Rachel wanted to be upfront with the British people about the challenges that we're facing. Now, some of those challenges are uncertainty around the world, the threat of tariffs, the global cost of borrowing. Some of them are long-standing, deep scars in the economy because of austerity and Brexit and so on. I think all of that is really important for people to know is the context when Rachel takes her decisions going into the budget.
The West Coast Main Line is due to fully reopen for the first time since yesterday's derailment at Shap in Cumbria. Network Rail said the line would be reopened to passenger and freight services later tonight after teams worked around the clock to remove the damaged train and repair overhead lines. The political activist Tommy Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, has been found not guilty of a terror offence. He was detained at the Channel Tunnel after he refused to give police access to his mobile phone. He spoke to his supporters outside Westminster Magistrates Court.
I'm so glad that judge has given such a powerful judgment now that says it how it was. I was targeted because of my political beliefs. So say that out loud.
The Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, has said heads should roll at the BBC after reports that a Panorama documentary misled viewers by editing a speech made by Donald Trump. The Daily Telegraph said it had seen an internal memo suggesting the programme edited 2 clips of Mr Trump's speech together, so he appeared to explicitly encourage the Capitol Hill riots of January 2021. The BBC said it didn't comment on leaked documents. And flights have resumed at Washington's Reagan Airport after reports of a threat against a United Airlines plane. The FAA said the ground stop had been lifted and the threat cleared. Flights were grounded for more than an hour. Reagan Airport said the plane's passengers were all offloaded safely and bussed to the terminal. Right, let's get travel now with Orna.
Thanks, Dan. So very busy out there. Wet weather affecting much of the northwest and Lancashire, the M6 southbound 31 at Samlesbury, all traffic being held now. That's to clear an accident. We've got delays there because one lane's closed. The M602 in Greater Manchester, Junction 2 at Trafford Park, an accident in one of the lanes. Again, wet weather. The M60 is extra busy. It stayed busy all the way around from Denton Island on the clockwise side to Junction 1 at the Stockport Pyramid, taking about 40 minutes in total. Also heavy on the M62 westbound, Junction 9 at Winwick, an accident in one lane. The M1 West Yorkshire, Junction 45, Leeds Cross Green, repairs, one lane closed, queuing traffic there. The M4 is queuing away from London, Junction 5 at Langley through to 6 at Slough. 2 lanes are closed for an accident. Queues back to the M25, queues clockwise on the M25 at 15 for the M4. Just hearing the M2 coastbound eastbound, Junction 2 at Struden Rochester, an accident has closed 2 lanes with the queues back to Junction 1. And as you've been hearing, the West Coast Main Line because of the derailment at Shap, no service between Preston and Carlisle until tomorrow. Orna Merchant, 5 Live Travel.
The Rugby Union Autumn Internationals continue. On Saturday, Ireland face Japan at 20-1 on Sports Extra 3. On Sports Extra 2, Scotland host the All Blacks at 3:10, and England take on Fiji at 20-6 on 5 Sports Extra. Unbelievable scenes! And on Sunday, Wales take on Argentina at 3:10 on Sports Extra 2.
The Rugby Union Autumn Internationals.
Keep up to date with all the insight and analysis with the Rugby Union Weekly Podcast.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sports, the Champions League with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 1 at the break. Second half on the way. Then later on we are bringing you Liverpool against Real Madrid. Stephen Warnock and Jonathan Woodgate, both parts of our commentary team. Evening to you both.
Hello, chappers. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very well. Look, we will talk Trent Alexander-Arnold later on and everything that will be around there. Once we know whether he starts, whether he's on the bench, what his involvement is. Bigger picture, I suppose, Stephen, is I don't think we're still sure, are we, what kind of Liverpool we're going to get from 1 week to the next?
No, not at the moment. I think it was a vast improvement what we saw on Saturday against Aston Villa. Aston Villa probably were the architects of their own downfall and made life easier for Liverpool, but it did feel like there was a better organisation. Villa still did create a couple of opportunities, but on a whole there was a lot of Liverpool fans at the game who walked away saying that's a big improvement and that's exactly what was needed going into a game of this magnitude.
Mark, can I... Hello, good evening.
Hello, evening.
Good evening. Can I gate crash your chat with Stephen and Jonathan?
Yeah, I was going to bring you in next to say you've got the Real Madrid team, haven't you?
Oh, I have, yes. I didn't realise that message had been received by the studio, but they've made one change.
Everything's under control. You're all right.
Yeah. Well, I know how you like to be presenter and editor-in-chief.
You have done this before, haven't you, Chappers? I'm just checking.
Well, I'm fairly sure it's not the first rodeo, but anyhow, go on.
So Alexander-Arnold does not start. He is on the bench for what will be a third successive game. They've made just the one change from the side that beat Valencia at the weekend, and that is Camavinga coming in for Mast Antuono. So Courtois is in goal, Valverde, Huijsen, Militao and Carreras is the back four. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Bellingham, Goulet, Mbappe and Vinicius Junior is the starting 11 for Real Madrid.
Thank you, Ian. Jonathan, if Liverpool have problems against the long ball, Will Real Madrid, this Real Madrid under Xavi Alonso, use that tactic?
I don't think so. I think they'll stick to what they've done in the Liga this season. They've been absolutely outstanding. The top of the league for a reason, that's not for playing long. They'll definitely play out from the back. They'll try and play through Liverpool's press. And if they have success with that, they'll get Mbappe on that back line running in behind. They're a frightening, formidable team, this Real Madrid team.
So, given that they do have Kylian Mbappe, you wouldn't go direct over the top of the line because that would strike me as quite a powerful weapon.
If they did that, but then they've got to get the length in the kick to do that, and for him to run in behind. But normally it'll just land on the centre half's head, who'll head it down to a Liverpool player. It's got to be some kick from Courtois to get it over the top of Van Dijk and Kanate if they play. And so they should be reading the game, and then they wouldn't get in behind them. So I don't think they'll do that, Chappers.
OK, Stephen, on the slots written in the programme tonight, I'd like to reiterate my personal gratitude for the support that we received at the weekend. It gives us extra excitement going into games like tonight's because we know what is possible when we are together on and off the pitch. Does that imply that he thinks at times they haven't been together on and off the pitch?
Well, I think over the last few weeks it's been, and I say the last few weeks because it's been the worst run, losing 4 games on the bounce. He hasn't had this problem before where the fans have sort of, and I will use the word, but they've doubted him, and which is incredible to think that your manager's just won the league the year before and then you're bringing new players in, trying to integrate them into the squad. So there was an element of that, and I think at times he's not had to G the crowd up, where Jurgen Klopp used to do that quite a lot, where he knew the power of the crowd. And I think he realises that is an asset. And he talked about that at the weekend, where the crowd got behind the team and felt that it just gave the team that extra little bit of lift that they might have needed, that extra little bit of confidence as well. But he knows this is Real Madrid coming to town tonight. If Anfield can be at its best, it can definitely help these players and lift them.
I mean, Real Madrid, though, Jonathan, come here, played 3, won 3. So they're on course to finish in the top 8 anyhow. There's maybe slightly less on it for them this evening.
It might give them more freedom to play, but I don't think they need that, chaps. I think they've got exceptional players who turn up week in, week out, no matter what the game. And they've got that in abundance when you look at the team, when you look at Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Camavinga, I mean, Bellingham, the top players. It might release them a bit, but I always think they're going to be on it anyway, especially in this atmosphere, in this stadium, this historic stadium. They always want to produce the goods.
Ian, do you have the Liverpool lineup?
Hold on, I'll bear with me. I was just checking to see if it's been announced. Yes, I do. One change for Liverpool, and that change is Wirtz starts instead of Gakpo. So Mamadashvili is in goal, Bradley, Van Dijk, Kanate and Robertson, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister in the midfield, Salah, Ekitike and Wirtz, and Jones is back amongst the substitutes.
Thank you. As far as Spurs are concerned, Jonathan, they need a lively performance, I would argue. I mean, they could obviously do with winning as well, but they need something to get everybody excited, don't they?
Well, away from home and at home, they're two different teams. When they're at home, they've been slightly disappointing this season. Away from home, they've been very good. Probably they play on the counter-attack, probably when they're away from home. When they're at home, they have to break teams down, and it's not easy to break teams down. And Copenhagen coming to Tottenham won't be easy, because you can imagine they sit deep, they'll be compact, and it'll be hard for Spurs to play through them. I
have the Spurs team for this evening. They have Vicario in goal. He's brought in Destiny Udogie this evening. Has Thomas Frank. So Udogie plays. Interestingly enough, that means Jed Spence drops to the bench after the whole post-match handshake furore, although Mickey van der Ven starts. Christian Romero is back as well for Spurs. Randall Kolo Muani starts up front. Odobert Johnson and Xavi Simons will be behind. So you've then got Pape Sarr and Bentancur in the middle of that midfield. So they have Romero back, and they have a left-footed left-back as well, with Spence dropping to the bench, Jonathan, and Udogie back.
Yeah, I'm sure I like Udogie. I think he's a very good player. I think Jed Spencer's done well, but getting that left-back playing on the left-hand side with the little left-footer down the side, I really rate him highly. But I think Romero's big for Spurs. I think him and Van der Ven's partnership's really good. I think it's one of the best partnerships in the Premier League, so that's going to bear him in good stead also. Hopefully he can get the win, chaps. We all want Spurs to win, don't we?
Well, a lot of people might do. I don't know who are you aiming that at?
No one in particular.
I was gonna say I don't mind either way. Really, I'm meant to be impartial in all of these. Do you think this, Stephen? Do you think this whole handshake thing is just kind of nonsense in the world we live in?
Yeah, I mean,
or is there more to it?
No, I think it was just frustrated players, and they didn't turn up on the day, and they. Yeah, there's too much read into it. Listen, there's too much read into players walking around the pitch and doing a lap of honour every single game, managers walking onto the pitch, and just go back to the old way. It drives me insane the way it happens. I'm totally fed up with it. It's you play well in front of the crowd. You clap as you walk off. Just go down the tunnel. That's all you need to do, and deal with the situation when you get in the changing room. I know there's an element, the fans have paid money and they've gone across, but yeah, you can give them a quick clap on the way off, but then go and sort things out in the changing room.
Stephen, Jonathan, Ian, thank you. We'll be at Anfield a little later on. Liverpool, Real Madrid, 8 o'clock kickoff. That's here on 5 Live. Spurs, Copenhagen is on Sports Extra. Away from the Champions League, England have drawn world champions Spain in their qualifying group for the 2027 Women's World Cup. Iceland and Ukraine also in that group. And Ben Stokes has extended his England central contract until the next home Ashes in 2027. He's one of 14 players who've signed on for 2 more years, including Joe Root, Harry Brook and Jofra Archer. They're back out in Prague. Arsenal a goal to the good. Here are Pat and Ali.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, welcome back to Prague. That goal came from a Bukayo Saka penalty, as well as munching on ham, cheese and gherkin baguettes at half-time. I've been in conversation with a Polish colleague who's reporting on the game for Polish television tonight. He described it, Pat, as an exotical refereeing decision, which made me smile.
Yeah, to be honest, it's harsh. It's very, very harsh up there. A Slavia Prague supporter. It's just the way it is. But, you know, the referee's given it, you need to go on with it. You need to deal with it. He could argue by the letter of the law. It is a penalty kick, and you'll take it. It's just one of those slightly more subjective decisions.
Second half is underway, so let's just paint the picture for you again. Relatively mild night in the Czech capital tonight. It's been a lovely November day. I actually missed the early walk this morning. I was doing the notes, but Pat was out there with the team. Blue skies, bright sunshine. Saw the change of the guard, didn't you? Yeah. Up at the castle, which looked fantastic. The astronomical clock, Charles Bridge and all of that. Here's Trossard, left-footed cross, Marino with the volley at close range. Arsenal have their second. 40 seconds into the second half, they are heading for another win in the Champions League. It was as simple as that. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 2.
It's the ease of it, isn't it? You say simple. You go down the left-hand side, no one marking in there. And you want to go, no, they're hoping there's going to be an offside flag going up. Certainly the ball going, when it out left, it wasn't offside. When it's played in, we're going to keep an eye on it. We've got an angle on it here. You don't need to go around your player if you're, you just need to go past. There is no chance in the world that is offside. Lovely finish from Marino, and 2-0, piece of cake.
I mean, Gyökeres out injured. missing Gabriel Jesus. Havertz is on his way back. Merino does a decent job, Pat, does he? I mean, his goal-scoring record for Spain, particularly recently, is fantastic. That's a really well-taken volley, isn't it?
As I mean, it's got any centre forward would just say, yeah, I'm very happy with that finish, because it's a volley. You know, it's maybe tiny little bit behind it, but you've got to get it on target. You've got to get it away from the goalkeeper. It's done with, I think the only word is aplomb.
Yes.
It really is. That's the word that
exactly
describes
right.
it.
With aplomb, which is definitely one that features in the great glossary of football commentary, which is discussed every week on the Commentator's View podcast. You can listen to it via the BBC Sounds app every Friday. We heard from Stephen Warnock and Jonathan Woodgate at half-time. They're alongside Ian Dennis. For Liverpool against Real Madrid tonight, Trent Alexander-Arnold not in that Real Madrid starting lineup. Full commentary on 5 Live. That is exclusive national radio commentary tonight. If you want to listen to that game on the radio, 5 Live is the only place you can do that. Spurs Copenhagen is on Sports Extra. Saka and Provod in a little tussle down by the corner flag. Arsenal defending the goal away to our left in this second half. They're in change kit tonight, which is all dark blue, red trim, white numbers, and Slavia Prague 2-0 down at home now. Oh, they're making an early change in the second half. Oh no, the big fella's coming off, Pat. The centre forward, Thomas Horry, is hobbling off right at the start of the second half. Was enjoying commentating on him. So Momir Hitil is coming on, the number 13.
He's not a bad player to bring on for him, but I think he is injured, and he is hobbling a little bit there. But he was getting so excitable, you wondered, is he actually going to get sent off here?
Yeah,
because
true.
He was winding up the centre back so much, so maybe for his own good.
Yep, he's off, gets a pat on the back from the manager, and Arsenal has something different to deal with in Hitil, who immediately bounces around on the penalty spot inside the penalty. That surely was a push on Timber there from the long throw. Yeah, Timber got a shove at the back. The theatrical reaction from the Slavia Prague player, I think it was Provod, who pushed him. Absolutely aghast at the decision, but it was so obvious from up here. So free kick for Arsenal. Raya in goal. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Hincapié, with Calafiori and Lewis Skelly both on the bench this evening. Waneri, Norgard, Rice, the midfield 3. Waneri's on a yellow card. The ball is back with Raya. He side puts it away first time. Saka, Trossard, Marino, scorer of the second goal, is also on a yellow card. But we're thinking, aren't we, Pat, that when Mikel Arteta decides it's time to change things and he feels Arsenal are comfortable enough, that one of the first players to come off, you would have thought, will be Declan Rice, because if he gets booked in this second half, he's missing the Bayern Munich game.
Yeah, and you get a silly booking, you know, and it might not even be your fault half the time. It can be a technical one. And right now, I'm just looking at Zapiris, who's trying to wind up Declan Rice.
Yeah.
You know, off the ball just now, he's niggling at him, pushing at him. Declan Rice is basically laughing at him in return. He's not taking it seriously at all. He's winding them up.
Good temperament, actually, Declan Rice, hasn't he?
Go beyond that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's absolutely fabulous, his temperament.
Yeah. Trossard, free kick was played long down to him down the left. Norgard stretches in to try and win a ball on the halfway line. Back heel from Hincapié goes out of play. But off a Slavia player, throw in to Arsenal. So Hitil now up front through the middle. In fact, it's a throw in for Slavia. Referee's changed his mind, or basically Trossard had made his mind up for him and the referee said, I'm not having that. It's a Slavia throw. They've got Jakub Markovic all in lemon yellow away to our right in goal. Thomas Vyšek, Stepan Halupek and David Zima as their back 3. David Moses, the Nigerian, is the right wing back. Yusufa Mboji on the left hand side. Michel Sadilek and Christos Zafiris in the central midfield. Provod and Sanyang, with Hitil now through the middle. Hincapié jumps, wins a header, and it goes out for a Slavia throw inside their own half. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 2.
Do you know what I was saying just before, we went to the break at half time there? The biggest difference between the two teams is that final third pass. When you think about a couple of times that Slavia Prague went down the left hand side in the first half and the ball just never came in, any quality. First time it's done in the second half, immediately Arsenal put it into the right position and they can finish it. And it's a simple thing to say, but the really top teams, the difference when they get a half chance there, they make it count.
Yeah, and you were making the point as well, Pat, if it is 12 points from the first 4 games, it's such a good position at that point. I mean, they'll want top out, they'll want to miss that playoff round, but you're in such a good position to do that from there. Games against Bayern at home, Club Brugge away, Inter away, and Kairat Almaty from Kazakhstan in their last game away from home, which will be in January. Trossard's lost it inside the Slavia half. That's a miscued pass back. Marino will chase it, just gets there. Goalkeeper's got to head it away, chested down by Norgard. Just took too long. He was thinking about a shot with the goalkeeper off his line, didn't get the shot away. Provod now volleys a pass to his right, and Arsenal have got to get back here. Moses down the right hand side finds Provod up to the edge of the Arsenal area. There's the cutback into the box, trying to work it back to the edge of the area. Zafiris shoots. That's blocked. It doesn't go behind for the corner. Provod is able to keep it in and plays his pass back to Vishek. Vishek to Provod on the right. Vishek makes the run down the right. It goes out for a Slavia throw. They take that quickly. Sanyang up against Gabriel. Gabriel lets the ball run past him. Sanyang wants that to go out for a corner. Slavia do get their corner.
You can see what they're trying to do just now in Slavia Prague. They're trying to affect some chaos. Because it was so controlled by Arsenal beforehand. So they're trying to do that just now. And it kind of worked there a little bit. They've got the corner kick out of it in the build-up to that before. Provod is probably the one that catches the eye more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Probably the most accomplished technical player that Slavia Prague have got. Played really well there, laid the chance on, but Saka's defending was magnificent there.
Corner then for Slavia Prague, in front of the Ultras, behind that goal away to our left. Low one into the near post, stooping header goes high in the air, ball drops loose in the box. Raya watches it carefully. The referee's given a free kick to Arsenal. Slavia fans not best pleased with that. Slavia 0, Arsenal 2. So Liverpool, Real Madrid to follow on 5 Live tonight, and as I was saying in the first half, tomorrow we've got another early Champions League kick-off for you. Drive coming off early again at 5:30. Qarabag against Chelsea kicks off at 5:45, and then John Murray is at the Etihad Stadium for Manchester City against Borussia Dortmund, and we'll have updates of Newcastle Athletic Bilbao. And I should mention as well, Pat, on Sports Extra on Thursday, Celtic and Rangers, you can hear their game. So Celtic away to Midtjylland kicks off at 5:45, and Rangers at home to Roma kicks off at 8, so you can hear both of those as well.
Well, if they keep on going the way they're going just now, there'll be plenty of action in those games. The Celtic Rangers game at Hampden Park had plenty going on at the weekend.
Interesting times. Martin O'Neill and Danny Ruhl in charge at the clubs at the moment. Players about to get back underway here in Prague. David Raya spins the ball between his gloves, all in green, apart from the orange boots. Just takes the loose mud from between the studs of those boots, sends everyone upfield, runs at the ball, crashes it downfield with his right foot. It's dropping about 10 yards outside the Slavia Prague area. Zafiris volleys it away with his right foot, and it goes out for a throw-in to Arsenal. They won 2-0 against Athletic Bilbao. They won 2-0 against Olympiacos. They stuck 4 past Atletico Madrid, and now they're 2-0 up away to Slavia Prague. They're heading at the moment, Pat, for an 8th clean sheet in a row.
Yeah, and to be honest, they would just love it, wouldn't they? That's what they want, possibly more than getting another goal tonight. I think if you gave them obviously 3-1 or 2-0, they take 2-0.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they keep that run going. Oh, I know the defence would, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, you hear in the background, Slavia haven't given up, and the reason why, well, a variety of reasons, but one of the reasons is the fans have been absolutely magnificent. You know, and there's the ultras behind the goal, and they take up the entire end behind the goal, and they have kept behind the team the whole time. And it's not every set of fans that do that, is it? What a lift that must be as a player, if even when you're 2-0 down, they're behind you.
Free kick for Arsenal inside their own half. Rice takes it. Game is being played at a very steady, gentle pace at the moment. Hittil tries to pick up the pace as he chases towards Raya. Raya, long ball with his right foot, and Bodji volleys it straight up in the air. Marino senses an opportunity, miscontrols it, bounces off his knee, tries to win a free kick as he sort of runs past Sadilek and effects contact. No free kick given. Arsenal playing out from inside their own half. Marino's lost it again, and Bodji down the left to Sanyang. Marino will chase for Arsenal here, gives up that chase now. Sanyang's low cross, not aimed at anyone in particular, but finds Hittil. He lays it off back to Zafiris. Zafiris with his left foot plays a nice pass through the lines to Sanyang, tries to dance his way past Timber, and then Timber sticks out a right arm, drags him to the floor, and the referee says that will be a free kick for Slavia Prague. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 2.
Well, Sanyang hasn't given up, and you kind of like him anyway, because the effort's good. You know, The final ball was nowhere near good enough, but you know, he's lively, he's fast, he's chasing everything, his attitude's really good. He is young, he will get better. And he's kind of asked a few questions of Timber, hasn't he?
Yeah. Timber in conversation with the referee about the decision, didn't agree with it, but it is a Slavia Prague free kick. And our Azerbaijani referee marches back 10 yards. Gets out the old can of vanishing spray. Arsenal put up the two-man wall, mini wall, protecting the right-hand edge of their penalty area. That's Waneri and Saka. Saka's just pointing at Provod, who's run short of the area. Waneri's got that covered. Free kick into the far post, headed up in the air. Last touch came off an Arsenal player. But Gabriel's waving his arm furiously, saying, "Ref, you've got that wrong." But it is a corner to Slavia Prague.
Yeah, and by the way, a very, very good ball in it. Difficult one, Raya couldn't come from it. It's at the back post, curling in there. They just didn't have enough to power to get on the end of it. And of course they're going towards those fans that are noisy just now, so that's given Slavia a lift. They haven't given up yet.
Resounding noise inside the stadium. Comical slip in taking the corner. The ball just goes straight up in the air and 30 yards away from the Arsenal goal. They've still got to deal with it here though, Arsenal. It's up high. Timbers won a couple of headers there. Now it drops down. Saka clears on the turn. Trossard will chase. He's beaten to that by Provod, and Provod gets enough on it to get it back to his goalkeeper, Markovic. So Slavia can start to build from inside their own half. It's the Nigerian David Moses who plays with a bright white headband around his head. Long ball forward straight through to David Raya. Raya rolls it out to Norgard. Norgard has space to work with here inside his own half. Side foots a ball to Timber. Timber looks up, sees the run from Saka down the right, headed away by Mbodji. Norgard with another header forward. Marino controls it with his thigh. Waneri passes across the Slavia midfield. Marino's deep here. He's about 50 yards from goal in a central position. Strokes a pass out to the left to Hincapié. Hincapié back to Gabriel. Gabriel, little pass to his right to Rice. Rice into the feet of Norgard. Back to Rice again. Inside left channel for him now. Cross to Gabriel. Arsenal players start to make the runs, but the ball comes backwards towards the halfway line, and they're going to recycle it and come out to the right. No, Saliba's changed his mind, goes back to the left to Rice. Waneri trots towards Rice, wants the ball, gets it. Little shimmy from him on the halfway line and passes back to Saliba again. They're just drawing Slavia onto them, aren't they, Per?
Game management. It's been very, very good.
Looking for that longer ball over the top from Gabriel, headed away from Trossard, clear to the halfway line. Hitil chests it down, but Arsenal break it up. Here's Rice. Rice again, early pass. Saka might be offside here. The ball bounces twice in front of him. Right-footed shot, and goalkeeper Markovic is down, makes the save, and the flag stayed down.
I don't think it was offside. I think the player, the right fullback, was playing on one. You're right, it was very, very tight, but I wasn't as confident it would have been offside there. So good play there. A nice technical thing happened there. We've watched it a few times, which we'll get back to in a moment.
Yeah.
This is the break.
Here comes Slavia down the left, have to score the next goal, and Bodji's ball's good towards Hitil. It's loose inside the penalty area. The Slavia fans desperately behind the goal, appealing for something, anything, but actually good defending from Arsenal. Got the bodies in there, and Hitil just couldn't get a clean strike. That was a decent cross pass.
Yeah, finally one from the left-hand side again. They do look more dangerous from the left-hand side. A couple of times they've got down there, Slavia Prague, but you need to be pretty special. It needs to be not a very good ball. It has to be a perfect ball if it's going to beat that Arsenal defence there. Good tackling there. Both Saliba and Gabriel being their usual selves at the back there. Something the technical thing that Arsenal do, which is really interesting. I think you noticed it. When the ball came up to Marino and he's held it up, he's ended up in midfield. He's suddenly a midfielder. Of course he's comfortable there. But what happened is that then you've got, it's very comfortable that you're going to get Declan Rice going beyond him. And Declan looks perfectly happy when he's almost in the centre-forward position as well. Now, they don't use it that often, but it's a really nice thing to be able to use. And I've done it 2 or 3 times in this game so far, and I'm just thinking, it's a hard one to stop. If they keep doing it, they might get a chance.
Arsenal are the very definition of a well-oiled machine at the moment. It is going extremely well for them, although the injuries are racking up. Martinelli not involved tonight. Kepa's not here either. Havertz on his way back. Ødegaard's still out. Gyökeres, we're not quite sure how long that's going to be for. Mikel Arteta wasn't particularly definite about that yesterday, but seemed slightly concerned. Oh, that's good from Hincapié. Little skill on the left-hand side. Make space. Cross comes in. Seema is there. Half volley with the right foot. Hincapié is just blocked from challenging for the header, but it comes to Rice. He chests it down. He turns. knocks the pass past Gabriel, and Gabriel runs across his man to allow Saliba to get to that ball first and get it back to Raya. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 2. Saliba into his own penalty area to Raya. Raya's being chased by Provod. Back to Saliba on the left. Rice is back there, outside of his right foot. Searching ball forward, intercepted by Moses. Slavia on the front foot. Moses continues his run down the right, but he won't get to that pass, and it goes behind for the Arsenal goal kick.
Well, they will make some changes. I was standing up here to have a look down and see the changes, because it's 60-odd minutes now, 61 minutes, so you expect it to start roughly now. Give a couple of players a little bit of a rest, and that's exactly what Mikel Arteta's doing. It's not going to make it any easier for Slavia Prague, is it?
No. £60 million Ebera Eza is about to come on for Arsenal. By the way, it's still Napoli 0, Frankfurt 0. Stay tuned tonight, obviously, for full commentary of Liverpool against Real Madrid. Stephen Warnock and Jonathan Woodgate, both part of our commentary team at Anfield. If you're a Spurs fan, Spurs Copenhagen in full on Sports Extra. Arsenal leading here 2-0. Slavia actually go to Tottenham, not the next game, the one after in the Champions League. Timber, little pass to Trossard, opening up for Trossard on the edge of the box. Just stopped in his tracks there. Slavia have only got it away as far as Timber. Back it comes to Hincapié on the left-hand side, and Arsenal slow it down and come back to the halfway line again.
Lovely play by Timber. I think he thought it was Eze there, who went through the middle of the pitch there in the number 10 position. Really neat play, almost laid on a chance.
Intensity from Trossard as well. Suddenly gets his head down, sprints, passes the ball to Saka. A couple of step overs from Saka, beats his man and Bodji on the outside. Little cross bobbled into the near post. Marino lost where that was actually. It ran up over his head, down his back. The ball is still in play on the right here for Saliba. Saliba side foots a pass across the Slavia Prague midfield, and Timber in the centre forward position again tackled as he was racing through on goal. And then Hincapié gets back quickly for Arsenal to try and stop Provod launching a counter-attack, but Provod holds him off and keeps going, looks for the pass to Moses on the right, and Moses was never going to get to that one. Arsenal have it again inside their own half, leading Slavia Prague by 2-0 in the last half hour of the game here.
Yeah, it's a tough one to see who Eze is going to come on for. There's quite a number of players he actually could sensibly come on for. Remember, you don't want Declan Rice to get booked. Also, Nanweri, he's been booked already.
Yeah.
So do you want to take a chance to leave him? You don't. The last thing that Arsenal want is to get out in 10 minutes in a game like this. A, creates danger. B, it exhausts your players.
Saka passes inside the Slavia half to Norgard. Norgard looking for the run of Rice, and the pass is just overhit, and Rice has made a good run in there. Just couldn't quite find him. Markovic picks it up, the goalkeeper of Slavia Prague. Clears high and loses the ball in the floodlights for a second, which are all lined up on the roof of the stand opposite. Hittil is down and hurt. That's going to be a free kick for Slavia Prague. Waneri is coming off for Eza, and I was actually looking up in that sky, Pat, for that amazing moon that we saw on the drive here. I think that is a full moon tonight, giant full moon in the sky above Prague. And Mark, our engineer, was telling me there's different terms for these different moons, and apparently October, so last month, the full moon in October is the Badger moon, and tonight in November is the Beaver moon, and I'd never ever heard that before.
And you believe him? No, he's right.
The Believer moon. Free kick then for Slavia Prague.
Well, we're not surprised by the way they changed that, are we?
No, you called that half-time actually, Pat, off air. You did say that you thought maybe Eza for Waneri.
Well, because there's a bit of naivety maybe in his play. You don't want to take a chance.
Safiris free kick into the penalty area, drops to Hittil here, can't quite turn, flicks the ball over his shoulder, and Bodji's trying to get there. Great defending from Timber, just made that impossible for him to get to the ball and allowed it to go behind for the goal kick. They love defending, don't they?
They do, and it's funny because various players from Slavia have tried to wind up every member of the Arsenal defence, who've just looked at them as if to say, and your point is? You know, it's not interested. They're not going to wind us up. We've seen all this before. We know what we're doing. We're hard.
Right, clearance blocked, he gets lucky. Sliding challenge on him. He just showed a little bit too much. It was Provod again who was onto it for Slavia Prague, and he blocked it, and the ball span away, loose in the box, but it ran to Raya. He's picked it up.
Yeah, he's got very, very lucky there. You can't take your eye off. Provod really has actually quite impressed me. He's a more rounded player than most of the players there. He gets his head up when he's on the ball, chooses the right pass more often than not. But sadly, the biggest effect he's had in the game He's been in his own penalty box.
Trossard fouled, free kick Arsenal inside the Slavia half. So a little sweepstake then amongst the team. Who are the next team? Well, it could be Slavia tonight. Who are the team that are going to be next to score against Arsenal? So Voltemada on September the 28th was the last player to score against Arsenal at St James's Park. So there's the rest of this game tonight. Then Arsenal go to Sunderland, and then after the international break, it's Spurs at home, Bayern at home, Chelsea away. Who's scoring against Arsenal?
But they'll do really well to get through those ones, to be fair. That's a big call.
Yeah.
And that's why this game, and maybe the Sunderland one as well, they would want to get both these out of the way, get 2 wins in those 2 games, by the way, which is not to write off Sunderland in any way whatsoever. And then they've got a run of 3 really, really tough games, and they would love a little bit of breathing space still at that point.
Free kick for Arsenal, taken short. Rice to Eza, across to Timber, 40 yards from goal in the inside right channel, zips it out to Saka. Saka brings it under control, and Bodji's right with him. Back it comes to Timber. Timber's chased by Sanyang. Cross to Rice, central position, scoops it in the air, spinning ball. Oh, and it's nodded in. Really clever finish from Marino, who jumped with the goalkeeper Markovic, and Markovic was left just clutching at thin air. He came out to get a ball. He was expecting it to thud into his chest and to grab it with his gloves, and Marino's jumped with him, and the ball's just glanced off the Spaniard and ended up in the back of the net. Marino's second, Arsenal's third, Slavia 0, Arsenal 3.
Right, well, first of all, the keeper should get it, right? He definitely should get it. He's mistimed it. But well done, Marino. The amount of times he goes in, try to say the ball was it from Norgard or was it from Declan Rice? But the keeper's come out there, and if you come out that far, you must get the ball. But it's at the back post there. Defender's not very good at all. The keeper, what he's done is he's expected it to come in low, so he can grab it round about his midriff. He come out and punch then.
Yeah.
If he comes out and punches that, he saves it easy. But Marino, he keeps on going in. I'm not convinced how much he knows about it.
He just jumps.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Hopes.
he? Hopes. Yeah, exactly. Gets himself into the position, gets lucky, gets his second goal of the night, and Arsenal are comfortable. They are going top of this Champions League table. It is going to be 4 wins from 4. And just to repeat that stat from the first half as well, if it is a win tonight with a clean sheet, they will be only the second English team in the history of the European Cup and Champions League to win their first 4 games in a season without conceding a goal. Leeds being the only other one back in 69-70, when obviously it wasn't league phases, it was knockout round straight away. Here's Gabriel, hurriedly clears with his right foot. Marino's gone down holding his head, jumped for a ball just inside his own half with Zafiris. Zafiris is on the wind-up a little bit here, and he gets booked. He didn't even attempt to play the ball there. He's annoyed. They're 3-0 down, and he's just taken it out on Marino.
Yeah, just frustration, nothing more than that. I mean, it's not that. It kind of looks a lot worse because of the angle he went forward. He would find not really particularly bad that way. But they're going to make a couple of changes just now.
Yep.
Slavia Prague, and maybe no surprise. And I'm not surprised at all that Zafiris is one of the first one coming off.
Yeah, Zafiris is off. Mohamed Cham is coming on, and David Dudera is coming on as well. He'll come on into the defence and replace Tomasz Vicek. So Dudera is on and Mohamed Cham is on. He is an Austrian international, Cham, who's on loan at the moment from Trabzonspor. And Dudera, you've probably heard that name before, Czech defender in his 4th season at Slavia Prague. And they're 3-0 down at home to Arsenal. So for Slavia Prague, it's going to be 2 points from 4 games, and they are right down where you don't want to be in this giant Champions League table, because those teams that finish between 25th and 36th immediately get knocked out of the competition. If you can't finish top 8, you want to be between 9th and 24th, get yourself into that playoff round. It is 2 extra fixtures, but if you can win the 2-legged tie, then you're into the last 16. Sanyang clears with his right foot up to the halfway line. Gabriel leaps, wins the header. Sanyang again, inside his own half, looks for Moses. Nkapie's there first, and Moses is late and has caught him, and Nkapie's hurt, and Moses is hurt, and it's going to be another stoppage in play. It's definitely going to be an Arsenal free kick. They lead 3-0.
It's one of those ones where it looks really, really bad, and it's certainly going to be a foul for Arsenal. I actually suspect both the players got themselves hurt there. Yeah. I think he's off balance there. He slipped.
Tries to stop, doesn't he, Pat?
Yeah, and it's one of those ones. It looks so bad, but there's no intent there whatsoever, not a bit of it. But he'll probably get a booking for it because he's out of control, and you have to be in control. But that'll be harsh on him, very harsh on him.
So Moses is down. Hincapie's back on his feet for Arsenal, and I can see Provod is whirling his fingers around in a circular motion, which is the international sign language on a football pitch for we are going to have to make a change here. Double change coming for Arsenal. Ben White is going to see a little bit of football this evening. Hincapie is coming off, in fact. White is coming on, but Lewis Skelly is coming on as well. So let's see who else is coming off for Arsenal. They lead 3-0. It's still Napoli 0, Frankfurt 0. And we, of course, have got, in about 40 minutes' time, live commentary from Anfield of Liverpool against Real Madrid. It's a triple change. Max Daumann, the 15-year-old, he's not going to turn 16 until New Year's Eve. He's coming on. So Timber's off. Hincapie is off. And Marino, or is he coming over for a drink?
He's coming over for a drink. So.
Okay. So we need one more. Otherwise, Arsenal are going to try and play with 12 men, which you're not allowed to do. So let's wait and see who the third Arsenal player to come off is. Have you seen Max Daumann live yet, Pat? Sorry, I've interrupted your scribblings there, haven't I?
No, I haven't actually seen him live. But I've watched him obviously quite a few times. The talent is absolutely there.
Yeah.
A couple of things to learn, and I'll give him a little bit of leeway for one or two things he's done so far. But
okay.
In total,
delicately put.
But to be fair, the quality's there. Learning the game, he looks as if he could be a very, 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 very special player going forward. And as long as he learns the lessons, he'll be special.
Trossard.
And some of the good people around him as well. He's got some very, very good people around him.
Yeah, Trossard is the other one to come off. So Daumann is on for Trossard. Triple change for Arsenal. Two more subs now coming on for Slavia Prague. This is when it gets... Going to have to keep scribbling here, Pat. Vasil Couchet is a striker. Czech international, he's coming on. And Japanese defender Daiki Hashioka is coming on as well. Moses is coming off. And Sanyang, I think, is coming off as well. He's the one jogging towards the halfway line here. I've definitely enjoyed watching him. Lots more to come from him. 20 years old and gets a warm reception from his manager. And actually Moses, when he was able to get up and walk off the pitch after having taken that nasty tumble, the home fans were delighted to see that. So you probably heard the cheers and the applause in the background there. So loads of changes been made here. We've got just over 15 minutes to play. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. You may well be listening to us via the BBC Sounds app. That's where you'll find Sports Extra and Sports Extra 2 and 3 as well. Great for listening to us, the live sport and anything else while you're on the move. Scarves being held aloft in the home end away to our left-hand side. But Slavia deep in trouble here. 3-0 down. There's a foul on Sadilek. Norgard made the challenge. He is down hurt. The referee's right on top of that and has seen that. And I could see him reaching for his pocket straight away. It's going to be a yellow card, Pat.
And again, you can't really make that sort of challenge a little bit late. Again, nothing vicious about it. But if you go to ground, the referee takes the free kick, often reaches for his card. A little bit harsh on them there. Again, not the slightest bit of intent. And I will just reword that completely. He gets it clean.
Oh, he gets the ball.
Never a yellow card. It's not even a foul. Not even a foul. Yeah, he has to get it. That's a real shame for him. Didn't deserve that.
Another great visual sight inside this stadium tonight. So many of the fans are wearing black, which is what makes this look even better, is the red and white scarves are all being held aloft all around the stadium here. The support for the home team. Let's not forget they are top of the league domestically. They are the champions, of course. So they're obviously used to winning games and winning trophies, but tonight they're getting well beaten, but their fans sticking with them all the way. They've taken their free kick, Slavia. They're trailing Arsenal by 3-0. The ball is worked back here to Couchet, the number 9. He curls a pass with his right foot, chested down by Provod. Goes for the ball into the Arsenal area from deep, and that goes straight out of play for a goal kick to Arsenal.
I can remember the Sparta fans did the same as the Slavia fans do, because, stick by their team. Yeah, the expectation is limited anyway against the top English Premier League club, but they do stick by them. One of the reasons being, players have given everything, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's not as if they've given up or they're, doing anything you can feel disappointed with. The attitude from the Slavia players has been good. Nothing wrong with the attitude. If the ability was as good as the attitude, they'd be all right. But it's not quite that level.
Scarves now, having been held aloft and standing stock still for 20 seconds or so, now in unison with the song being twirled above everyone's heads. Dowman's been fouled. Free kick for Arsenal on the right. And Mikel Arteta now, nothing silly, lads. That's what it is, isn't it? 3-0 up. Let's not concede. We'll take the 3 points. 4 wins out of 4. No silly bookings. Let's just do the job.
The only surprise to me just now is Declan Rice still being on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's the only surprise to me. But, you know, he's an intelligent player. You know, he's not going to do anything really daft. And even if it was him 1-on-1 and the player was running away from him, he'd probably let the player go now because the game is won.
Taking the free kick for Arsenal. He's got it back from Timber. This is Rice. Rice down the right to Dowman. So it's Saka's penalty and 2 goals for Marino. Lewis Skelly is on. Forward ball to the 15-year-old Dowman, fouled again by Mbodji. And this free kick is in a good position for Arsenal because it's only 4 yards short of the penalty area, right in line with the right-hand corner of that as Arsenal look at it as they attack.
Do you know that thing I was telling you about Dowman?
Yeah.
I was hinting at.
Yeah.
So what he does is he passes the ball beyond the player and leans in and takes the hit.
Yeah.
And a lot of players are doing that just now. Anthony Gordon does it. There's a lot of them doing it just now. And that's fine, because players have done it for time immemorial. See, if you do it a little bit too often, you can get badly injured with it. Just be careful. It's actually a wee bit better just to go straight past the player when you get the opportunity to do that. But Dowman's got a free kick there in a very dangerous position for Arsenal, and Bukayo Saka's going to take it.
A little bit of history for Arsenal tonight as well. Max Dowman, at 15 years old, is the youngest player in Champions League history. So since it became the Champions League, the youngest ever to take the field.
Allowed to be learning. And by the way, he's learning quickly. He is superb.
Free kick, Saka takes it beyond everyone and behind for the goal kick. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 3. Goal kick is taken quickly by Markovic. Bounces once inside the Arsenal half, but there's a foul there. Gabriel gets booked for the challenge, and now that's him on 2 yellow cards in the competition so far this season. So another one for him, and that will be a 1-game suspension as well. Slavia have a free kick, 12 minutes to play, trail 3-0. It is still Napoli 0, Frankfurt 0, and on the way, exclusive national radio commentary here on 5 Live of a really big game in the Champions League tonight. It is Liverpool against Real Madrid. Free kick into the Arsenal penalty area. It comes off Mbodji's head and goes behind for the goal kick. And here's your other fact about this stadium, Pat, as I was digging around before the game. It's Slavia Prague's 18th season in this stadium. Started here in 2008-2009. And they inaugurated it with a game against Oxford University, because apparently Oxford University were the first English team ever to play in Prague back in 1899.
Wow, very impressive.
There you go.
I would expect they might have won that game. The second one.
Yeah, the second one, yeah. The first one, Oxford University won, I think. Did Oxford University win the FA Cup back in the 1800s? I might have to look that up. I'm not sure. Maybe I might be getting confused there. Here's Dowman again, down the right. Good skills. Keeps the ball in play. Couchet is back heels it into Dowman, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Slavia Prague.
Again, one of the things you look for any young player, and to be fair, Dowman's very young player, is what you want to do is see how often the players give him the ball. Arsenal players have just zipped the ball into him time and time again. As soon as he's come on this pitch, they've said, here, have it. And by the way, the change that I was expecting is finally going to happen, maybe.
Right, Declan Rice is free to play against Bayern Munich on Wednesday the 26th of November. He's got through the game tonight. 10 minutes left to play. He's coming off, and coming on is young 17-year-old striker Andre Harriman Anous, who only made his debut for Arsenal against Brighton in the League Cup recently. And Oxford University did win the FA Cup. I was right, in 1874 they beat the Royal Engineers 2-0. So there we go. It was lodged somewhere there in the back of the brain. Ball drops on the halfway line. Arsenal leading 3-0. Harriman Anous out there wearing number 71. as the centre forward now for Arsenal, and 15-year-old Max Dowman out there as well.
Yeah, but he's ancient, isn't he?
At 17, yeah.
Yes.
Ball
That
up.
is extraordinary, by the way. You really have to look to Arsenal. They've built a brilliant squad. But look at some of the kids, from Lewis Skelly and everything. It's phenomenal.
But Pat, we were talking about the strength of this Arsenal squad and this Arsenal team and how good they are, particularly this season, how well they're going. So for a 15-year-old to be able to get into this team, it's amazing, isn't it?
And it's not that as if you're being given a game because, we just give them a game because the kids make them feel good. They can play. They can seriously play.
Arsenal knocking it around for fun. It's a right old change-up, though. Dowman is on the right, Harriman and Noose through the middle, Saka on the left, Eza Marino now in midfield with Norgard, Timbers at left-back, Ben White's at right-back, Saliba and Gabriel still rock solid as the two centre-backs. Arsenal looking for this 8th consecutive clean sheet. 8 minutes left in the game. Slavia bring it forward. Ashioka plays it out to the right-hand side. Little wrestle there between Gabriel and Hittil. Hittil tries to flick a ball beyond Saka. Saka's clearance then hits Hittil and goes behind for the Arsenal goal kick.
And it does underline what we've been saying about Arsenal. There's so many changes, so many players out, made all these substitutions. You still get a really exciting forward line on now. You still get Eze, you still get Saka. You've got Dowman who's come on. It really is pretty impressive to watch that strength and depth. It's by a long, long way the best and strongest looking squad I've had for decades.
6 points clear at the top of the Premier League at the moment. Game against Sunderland on Saturday. We've got full commentary on that one. It kicks off at 5:30. Mikel Arteta's 6th full season in charge. Only trophy so far, very early in his reign actually, came in the 2020 FA Cup final when Aubameyang was such a central figure, beat Manchester City in the semi-finals and beat Chelsea in the final. And now the Slavia Prague fans are up to something else because there's no noise and they're just gently swaying from side to side in that end away to our left. Their team's attacking. Hittil is into the penalty area. Gabriel stops him. Cross comes into the box, trying to get the shot away. Slavia player down. Penalty for Slavia Prague. Referee's pointed at the spot. There's a little bit of push and shove after that as well, involving Ben White. But we were talking about when Arsenal might next concede a goal. It might be right here, right now in Prague, because Slavia Prague at the moment have a penalty.
Yeah, it didn't look as if it was going into this game for Slavia Prague. And have a look at Raya. Look where Raya is just now. He's run all the way over to almost to his own dugout to get a drink of water. Inverted commas. It's not a drink of water he's having. He's having a look at where the penalty kicks go.
Right, let's have a look, Pat. What happened here is a high ball. Provo was trying to hit the shot. White got his foot up. They both had their feet up. Oh, White kicked him in the head.
White's just a little bit higher than he has. And again, I think that's very harsh on a penalty kick.
Let's have another look here.
So
Provo tries to bring it down. He's on the turn. They both kick for the high ball. I'm presuming that Provod's got the ball and White hasn't.
No, he's and also he's kicked through on Norgard. I wonder if he's given it for the kick of Norgard. But Norgard was kicked. He didn't kick. You should have a look at that.
You can see how desperate Arsenal are to keep this clean sheet run going because they are still complaining furiously about the penalty, and it's going to be checked by VAR.
Yes, good.
So David Raya might not even have to face the penalty, and the referee's being sent to the screen, which means...
I don't think it was a penalty.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But Arsenal got one on VAR review, and I'll tell you what, these Slavia fans are not going to be happy when this decision gets overturned. Now, all the referees being shown at the moment is freeze frame. Now the ball's moving. High leg from White, high leg from Provod. Provod he kicks White.
Yeah, it's just
Provod kicks White.
That's just never a penalty. Never a penalty.
It's almost like a game of Cluedo. It's Ben White with the high foot in the penalty area.
And in a way, it's as if the referee, unless he's saying it's a dangerous high boot. Now there's a possibility.
Here he comes. Here he comes. What's he saying? What's he saying? Now he's going to call over Provod. He's calling over Lucas Provod. He's not made a decision as yet. Saka's coming over to find out what's going on as well. Arsenal leading 3-0 against Slavia Prague here in the Champions League and heading for 4 wins out of 4. He's explaining the decision to both captains at the moment. and he's changing his mind and saying no penalty. And listen to the reaction inside the stadium.
I got it right.
Yeah,
I think he's got it right there. If you have penalties like that, we're going to have a lot of penalties. And I mean, I can understand why at first sight you might have given it. And there were two players coming together, in fact, three players coming together. However, that should never be a penalty kick. And that Arsenal back line can breathe again.
Yeah, you could see how incensed they were. If we're conceding a goal, it is not going to be to a dodgy penalty. Max Daumann, 15 years old, youngest player ever in the Champions League, on the ball down by the corner flag, having fun for Arsenal, flicks it into the legs of Mbodji and wins Arsenal a throw. So we are less than half an hour away from Liverpool Real Madrid in the Champions League tonight. Spurs Copenhagen on Sports Extra. All the other goals as they go in. 2 more Champions League commentaries tomorrow as well. Qarabag Chelsea at 5:45 on 5 Live. Manchester City against Borussia Dortmund at 8 o'clock. While we bring you the closing stages of this game as Arsenal are about to head to the top of the Champions League table. It will be 4 games played, 4-1. Will be 11 goals scored and none conceded. The ball's come off Hittel, it's gone out for a throw-in to Arsenal. It's gone... They had to soak up some pressure, didn't they, Pat? First 10 minutes or so of the game.
Yeah, 10-15.
Yeah.
I would say. Maybe even just a little bit more than that. But there was a change, and it rarely changed back. Another little goal in the second half, at the start of the second half from Slavia Prague, but they by then had lost that goal, the second goal, and that kind of killed it for them.
Have to see what Bayern can do tonight. They're away to Paris Saint-Germain. They are Arsenal's next opponents in the Champions League at the Emirates Stadium. That is going to be some game. Saka's on the ball. He's wide on the left for Arsenal now. So Saka's going to play the full game tonight for Arsenal. On the ball again. Close attentions of Hashioka, who's come stumbling through the back of him. And Arsenal win the free kick.
You know, since Ezzy's come on, and like many other people, he's one of my favourite players playing football at the moment anywhere in the world. And there have been good moments for Arsenal. We've not quite seen the Ezzy of Palace, have we?
Not yet.
And part of the reason is, and there's a variety of reasons, but partly because he's playing slightly different positions, that sort of thing. But also, he was the go-to player. The ball went to him almost all the time in dangerous situations. With Arsenal, there's quite a lot of other players that can go to as well, particularly Saka, etc.
I would quite like to see the Pat Nevin 2025-26 select Premier League 11 of your favourite players. Arsenal looking for another goal late on here, but they couldn't quite get onto that ball in the Slavia Prague penalty area, because if Eze's starting, then Esteval surely is getting a place in that team, isn't he, Pat?
I can tell you something about that team.
Yeah.
They'd be great at attack, but they couldn't defend to save their lives.
Marino plays down the right to Daumann. Daumann's lost it. Here's Provod, who thought he'd won the penalty. Up towards Hittil, he can't control it. Gabriel plays back to David Raya. We're in the 90th minute of the game, and now all the shirts have come off from the fans away to our left. They are brilliant.
They have put on some show tonight. Really surprising. I mean,
that is.
I'm not sure how delightful that is, but it's I mean, that end, I would say 75% of it are now topless.
That is a stunning display of Czech flesh.
And by the way, it isn't roasting here. I've got my gloves on.
Yeah.
And a jacket and 3 layers.
Oh dear. They've entertained us tonight. The team's being beaten. Arsenal leading by 3 goals to 0. We've got 5 minutes of added time. So those shirts remaining off for the next 5 minutes. Fantastic support from the Slavia Prague fans tonight, but it's the Arsenal fans who are going to be going home happy. Marino's fouled by Mbodji, I think. No, referee's not going to give that as a free kick. Back the ball comes to Sadilek inside his own half. Now one of the Slavia substitutes, Cham, gets on the ball, plays across to his right. Halupek up towards the halfway line. Cham again, back to Hashioka. Rhythmical clapping from those topless Slavia fans.
Well, I'll tell you what, Newcastle fans.
Yeah.
knocked in a cocked hat here.
Maybe a game. Do they play each other? I don't think they do actually in the Champions League this season. Unfortunately, they go to Tottenham, Slavia. Not the next game. They're at home against Athletic Bilbao, but it's Tottenham away after that. So the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium might be treated to a bit of that. The drums are beating. The fans are still singing. We're heading towards the full-time whistle here in Prague. Throw in for Slavia on the right. Cham gets the ball again, his bright green boots, left-footed pass back towards Zima, the centre-back, who comes charging forward. Plays it to Mbodji. Mbodji's cross is towards the far post. Raya is very easily able to watch that into his hands and catch it very comfortably.
And to be fair, as the game has developed and Arsenal have taken control of it, it has been a bit easier than I thought it would be here. I thought they would have put under a little bit more pressure, and that just underlines that's not the weakness of Slavia. That's actually Arsenal's ability to completely control games, to know when to go forward, to know when to control it, the intelligence of players all the way through that, and understanding of each other as well. And add to it, of course, the depth you've got in the squad. It's been such an impressive performance by Arsenal, and what a great start to the season they've had. Not just obviously the Premier League, they've got a little bit of a lead there, but they look like a team that look unbelievably comfortable in the Champions League now, don't they?
Yeah, gone so close, of course, in the Premier League last 3 seasons. Second, and second. All about trying to win that first title since 2004. Never won this competition either, of course. Marino taking an early free kick. Eze will chase it. Zima will get there first. We've played 2.5 minutes of the 5 minutes of added time. And Arsenal lead Slavia Prague by 3 goals to 0. So we'll be handing you back to Mark Chapman on the full-time whistle. He will take you through the rest of tonight. Ian Dennis with Stephen Warnock and Jonathan Woodgate alongside him at Anfield for full commentary of Liverpool against Real Madrid and the highlights of all today's games from 10 o'clock on the iPlayer and website. Lewis Skelly, who's not seen as much football as he would have liked this season, getting a chance late on here, shoved off the ball, wins a free kick for Arsenal.
Brilliant skill though, absolutely phenomenal skill, under a lot of pressure there. Did a little back flick to get away from the player, then kept the ball, and they just wiped him out and took him out. But yeah, Lewis Skelly, he's so comfortable. He's got a winger skill on the ball, but plays at full back as well. He's a really good player. Well, we know that anyway.
Going into tonight's game against,
what a
that's
touch.
a touch, isn't it, from Dowman? That pass came from 50 yards out of the sky, man right on his back, and he brought it down brilliantly on the laces of his left boot. Eze's giving it away. Here's Provod just inside his own half. Eze trying to get it back off him, plays back to Zima. Zima forward to Cham across to Mbodji on the left hand side. Loose touch from him. Dowman's in there. Dowman's knocked to the floor, picks himself up. He's fouled and will get a free kick. So it's finished Napoli 0. No, he won't actually. Slavia get the free kick for a handball as Dowman went down on the ball. Another free kick for Slavia. Marino's foul. This free kick is inside the Arsenal half. Frankfurt's games in the Champions League so far this season ahead of today against Napoli. They beat Galatasaray 5-1. They lost the next 2 games 5-1 against Atletico and Liverpool. Tonight, Napoli 0, Eintracht Frankfurt 0.
How disappointing.
Right, corner. Now it is going to go off if Slavia score here, and I'm not sure what else can come off in that home end behind that goal away to the left. In fact, that doesn't even bear thinking about.
No, it doesn't.
Corner for Slavia. Arsenal looking for this 8th clean sheet in a row. They're definitely getting the win tonight, but Mikel Arteta still looks anxious. Corner comes in from the left into the near post. No worries there. It's powerfully headed away. Dowman will chase the ball. We've got about 20 seconds left to play in this game. Thoroughly professional job done by Arsenal tonight. Exactly what they needed to do.
I mean, I'm not looking at Arteta. I'm looking at the 2 centre-backs and the goalkeeper. Because I think they'll celebrate it if it goes, if they get this.
Let's watch. Oh, Gabriel slides in and the shot comes in and Raya makes the save. And then the Arsenal players are telling the Slavia man to get to his feet. He barges into Gabriel. Tempers flaring at the end of the game. It's going to be a yellow card dished out here late on for Mbodji, who's barged into Gabriel. Slavia Prague frustration, and I think you're right actually, Pat. Let's keep our eyes on Saliba and Gabriel at the full-time whistle. Don't mess with us, they are saying to those Slavia players who are not scoring tonight.
Gabriel, he can't really get involved in anything like that, being on a yellow card just now.
Good point.
You really don't want to. The referee's not turned on him there, which I don't think he deserved it. But there are referees in those situations that just throw a yellow card to both players involved.
Right, free kick for Arsenal. I'm pretty sure once David Raya launches this forward, that is going to be the end of the game in Prague. Raya takes it. No, we're still going. There we go. The full-time whistle blows. Gabriel and Saliba, they do celebrate. They celebrate the win but you know they're celebrating the clean sheet too. They wrap each other up in a big embrace. Arsenal, top of this Champions League table, 10 wins in a row in all competitions, Pat Nevin, 8 consecutive clean sheets.
Massively impressive. Weren't put under that much pressure. Really intelligent the way they managed the game all the way through. And once again, that centre-back pairing, yes, there's other players on there that worked hard at it, but that moment at the end of the game would almost be the moment we'd live with you, because I wanted to look at the two centre-backs and they gave that look to each other's eyes of, we've done it again. If they keep on doing it, they're going to be hard to stop.
Relentless Arsenal march on. 3-0 winners tonight in Prague. Saka with the penalty, Marino with 2 goals, top of the Champions League table. Next up, Sunderland away on Saturday. Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 3.
It's very difficult, Pat, to think of what to ask you about and talk about after that game. And in many ways, that's the compliment to Arsenal, isn't it? In that there was no drama, no nothing, job done.
They're a machine.
Yeah.
They're an absolute machine. And, you know, for 15 minutes at the start, you're thinking, can you keep up with this pace? Because they're really getting tested. They're being closed down. They're being asked questions. They were trying to bully him. Big Horry early on was trying to bully him. You're thinking, well, this is quite impressive. And then after 20 minutes, Arsenal going, yeah, is that it? Is that your best shot? And then just rolled over them. Completely controlled the game. Decided to play at their pace. And remember, they're making a lot of changes here. Huge amount of changes. Well, as you talked to right at the start, about this chapters, they've lost a lot of top quality players. But even still, they utterly bossed this game. Away games in Champions League aren't easy. They really are almost never easy. Except Arsenal are beginning to make some of them look easy. And it was an absolute cruise in the end. And there was only one question left in the end. And it wasn't how many they're going to score. It's how they're going to get to full time with 0 in front of Arsenal's name. And there was a moment with that penalty kick that was given. Of course it wasn't a penalty kick, and it should never have been a penalty kick. Once again, Arsenal do it. And the one thing, chappers, lots and lots of substitutions made. No Gabriel and Saliba coming off. No, they're staying there. They want to keep that clean sheet. They don't want to let anyone else mess about with that brilliant run they're on.
Going to join in with the fans now, Ali?
Tops are back on down that end, thankfully, Mark, so I don't have to.
Ali, Pat, thank you very much.